LeBron James is on an expiring contract.
I'm surprised by that.
You know, he posted a video. He was working at the Clipper facilities.
Yeah, I know. I seen that. Yeah, I saw that.
What that mean?
I don't even know if I can speak on that.
All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life, I've been grinding all my life. Look, all my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life, I've been grinding all my life.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Club Shay Shay. I am your host, Shannon Sharpe. I'm also the proprietor of Club Shay Shay. Stopping by for conversation on the drink today, he's a two-time NBA champion as a player for the Los Angeles Lakers. He's the coach that authored the greatest comeback in finals history with his team down 3-1 with 2 of the last 3 games on the road. And don't forget that Warriors team had the best regular season record in NBA history at 73-9. He helped the Cleveland Cavaliers win their first and only NBA title. He's an Olympic gold medal winning coach, first team all in Big 12 point guard selection. His number 10 is retired by the University of Nebraska. He has a street named after himself in his hometown of Mexico, Missouri. The current head coach of the Los Angeles Clippers that led them to the first ever conference finals. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Tyronn Lue. T-Lue, what it do, man?
How you doing?
I'm good, bro. When growing up in Mexico, Missouri, if somebody would have told 10-year-old Ty Lue, you're going to be an NBA player and you're going to play on with 2 of the greatest players in NBA history. You'll later become a head coach, and you'll be author the greatest comeback in NBA Finals history. If somebody would have told 10-year-old Tyronn Lue that, what would you have told him?
Hell no. Hell no. But, I mean, you know, you always dream, and
Yes.
dream big.
Right.
You know, you put the work in, but to, like, come this far from, you know, where I come from, it's crazy. It's crazy to believe. And like I said, been blessed. Like I talk about it all the time, just, you know, come from Mexico, Missouri, a small town where we call it one way in, no way out.
Wow,
you know,
wow.
And so to make it out and be able to help the people I've been able to help is just a blessing.
You know, my brother tells the story all the time. It's like coming from rural South Georgia, where there's really no one that you like. If you're in LA, you might see someone that you might aspire to be like. Or you come from a big Chicago or New York, you might bump into a Jay-Z or you see a Kanye. But when you're from a small rural town and there's really no one from that hometown that's ever gotten out and become what we call be on television or be on the radio, how hard was it for you to find motivation to want to leave Mexico, Missouri?
It was hard, but I idolized my uncle Jay Graves.
Okay.
You know, he played basketball. He wore number 10, so I wanted to wear number 10. And he just taught me a lot about the game. But like you said, it was no one to look up to and idolize because TV wasn't, you know, games on TV wasn't big back then.
Right.
You know, so you just kind of had to pick the people who you wanted to be like.
Right.
And outside of my uncle, the other guys I want to be like, it wouldn't have been going in the right direction.
Yeah, you'd
know,
never
but
left Mexico.
But you see them with all the cars, with
Right.
all the money, and, you know, that's kind of like what you inspire to be.
Right.
You know, just having money, just being able to do what you want to do. And so I was, you know, like I said, blessed and thankful that I was able to get out.
Fast forward, here we are now. You're the head coach of the Clippers. Big acquisitions this offseason. You make the trade for Bradley Beal. Chris Paul comes back after, 4 or 5 years away from the Clippers. Kawhi seems to be finally healthy because he started to play really, really well down the stretch last year. James Harden, you re-sign him. The Beal, the Chris Paul, are those the missing ingredients? What do you guys need to do? Because OKC ain't going nowhere.
Right.
Houston traded for that 7-foot monster.
Right.
We know he's the elite scorer, and when you pair him with what they already got, Şengün, and they got Van Fleet, and they got Thompson, what do you guys need to do, T-Lue, to make sure you guys are playing in the conference finals with a chance to go to the NBA finals?
I think the biggest thing for us is just health. I think, you know, when you start the season and your best players, you know, aren't available when they're hurt,
Right.
you know, you got to play a different style of basketball until they're able to come back.
Right.
And that kind of hurt us last year. Like, we had to play a style just to win games to try to stay afloat.
Right.
We really didn't have a flow or a system how we wanted to play because our best player was out. He played, I think, 37 games last year. And like I think 8 or 9 of them was that 20-minute restriction. You know, so
Yeah.
you know we leaned a lot on James.
Right.
James was great. You know, Zoo was great.
Yes.
Nick Batum. I mean,
Norman Powell.
Norman Powell was great, and then Derrick Jones Jr. had a career year. Chris Dunn had a career year. So guys stepped up, and we took on a mentality, and we took on like a like we're going to be a defensive-minded, tough team, and that's who we became. You know, and so James led the way. I think with his leadership. I think Norm, being able to score the way he did. Zubac, getting
went
better.
To another level.
Yeah, went to another level. I thought it was good for us, and we had an identity in his defense. And then when Kawhi came back, you try to integrate him into something that's been working. Now you get your best player back. It's kind of tough, to do that.
Because they've been playing one way, and now you bring this guy in.
Yeah. So this year, like I said, just starting camp. Kawhi's healthy, and we know when he has a camp and he's healthy, he's a monster.
Right.
James is back. We got Brook Lopez, who's huge for us. I think another big body we can throw at Joker. We're playing against Denver. When Zoo's out of the game, we've always been small. And so he's punished us inside, being able to score. And we had a double team. Now he's picking me apart with passing. So just for us being healthy, I think, for majority of the season, I think we got a chance to do some special things.
Does Bradley Beal coming in, does he replace what you lost with Norman Powell because you had to move Norman Powell? He moves on. And Powell, he's explosive. He's an explosive scorer. Now, we know what Bradley Beal was in Washington. He went to the All-Star game. He averaged 30 for a couple of years. So we know he can score. But that's not necessarily what you need from him.
Yeah, I think, Norm, like I said, led a team in scoring last year and had a career year. He was phenomenal. And you lose a guy like Norm, it's always tough to make up for that. But Bradley Beal, like you said, who's been a perennial All-Star, who's averaged 30 a couple times in his career, he's definitely going to be a big help for us offensively.
Right.
And so we're going to need him to score, but outside of scoring, we're going to need him to make plays for other guys too.
Right.
Because he's going to draw 2 or 3 guys, and he can make a pass, he can make a play. And then defensively, he's always been good, but you got to challenge him every night.
Right.
If he's on bad players, he's not as good. But when he's guarding a guy that can play, he's a really good defender.
Right.
And so we need his total all-around package. And when you play for a team like Phoenix, like he did the last couple of years, you got Booker and KD, and you're the third option. People are he averaged 18 points, shot 50% from the field, and 43% from 3.
Right.
So that's, those are unbelievable stats.
Right.
But when you're playing with KD and Book, it kind of gets overshadowed. And so I think, by coming here, I think he gets a fresh start. I think he's going to be great for us.
How difficult is it, T. Lue, to get a guy when he's been the guy where he was, to get him to come in and says, that's not what we need here? Because he's not. It's going to be Kawhi. It's going to be James Harden. And I think he's, like you said, he's had good numbers, but I think he struggled because when you go from 30 to 18, that's a big, and people look at you different. They talk about you different.
Right. But the talk really doesn't matter because you don't know how the team is structured and how they want to play.
Okay.
He might took a back seat to KD and Book, listen, I'm going to guard the best player. If y'all need me, I'm going to be here. But I don't think, with our team, he'll get lost in the sauce because James is such a great passer.
Yes.
He makes it easier for everybody to play the game. And we're going to need him to score. We don't need him to come in and try to be somebody else. We need him to be who he is.
Okay.
And so keeping him involved and engaged offensively is going to be huge for us because he can do a lot of stuff. He can cut, catch and shoot.
Yes.
He can come off screens.
Right.
He can handle the ball as a secondary, ball handler. So he can do a lot of things offensively. And so we want him to come in and be who he is, not trying to fit in.
Chris Paul, you bring him back. What are your expectations? Because what is CP going into his 20th season? 20th season, and he's still a quality assist guy. Now he's not the scorer that he once was, but you might not need him to give you that kind of offense, but you need somebody that can move the ball. He is a pure point guard. He's looking to pass the ball first. What are your expectations from CP?
Yeah, kind of same thing with Bradley Beal, just being who you are. And, when you get older in age and you played so long in the league, your main goal is to win. Mm-hmm. And so I think they're at the point in their careers where we just want to win, whatever it takes. But, CP, being 40 years old and playing 82 games last year.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So
nobody plays 82 anymore,
right.
Unless you're Mikal Bridges.
Right. And so he's done a great job as far as just changing his diet, how he eats, how he trains. And he's going to be huge for us, I think, for our young guys as far as, teaching them how to work, teaching them how to be professional. And then, like you said, being a hell of a passer and creator. And he takes care of the basketball. He doesn't turn the ball over. So that's huge for us.
But you do realize when you bring these players in, combined with the players that you already have, expectations goes up exponentially.
Yeah.
You know what's expected of you guys, and you guys just happen to be the oldest team in the NBA. See, how'd that happen?
If you don't have expectations, you don't have a chance to win.
Okay.
And so you should never shy away from that. As a coach, you should be running to that.
Right.
Having a chance to compete for a championship. That's all you can ask for.
Right.
Just having a chance to compete, because it's, about 20 teams that come in every season and they don't have a chance to really win.
Great.
And so for me, I think we really have a real shot, like I said, with the guys we acquired this summer, with the guys we had here last year, with a healthy Kawhi. I think we really do have a chance to be an elite team, and so it's going to take a lot of work, but we can get there.
How important was it for you guys to get into your own building? Because as long as you stayed in Staples or the Crib or whatever they call it, it's really hard to have an identity, because the Lakers have been there so long.
Yeah.
They've won so much in that building, especially not so much in the last 15 years, but, with Shaq and Kobe, everybody remembers that. And now you got the Lakers, and now you got LeBron in that building. You got Luka.
Yeah.
How important was it for you guys, T. Lue, to get your own building?
Well, it was important. And I know, everyone makes the rivalry, the Clippers, Lakers, whatever, but to me, it's more about the city of L.A., and so when I first came here as a rookie, it's all I knew, and they embraced me, and just being here for the people in the city of LA it means the most to me.
Right.
And so if you're a Lakers fan, if we're not playing the Clippers not playing the Lakers, you should be a Clippers fan.
Right.
What I'm saying? It's us against the world, and so that's kind of
how they view it, though.
I know, but I wish they would.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was great for us to kind of, like you said, Mr. Obama, when he bought the team, he said, I'm going to build us an arena. And so, it took some time, and he did that.
Right.
And so to have our own home and a place where you can leave your shoes in a locker room,
Right.
and have to move it out every time, we left to go on the road or a concert came in.
Right.
It's huge for us
Right.
to, have a place called home, and it's beautiful. I mean, they've done a great job of just everything they've done with that. Nothing was left out.
Nothing was spared. He spared no expense.
Nothing.
Reports are, and you can correct this, that Kawhi trained until the end of the playoffs. Is that true? He trained, he put his body, he was doing the playoffs was going on, even though he wasn't playing. And so when the Thunder and who they play? The Pacers, when they ended, Kawhi, he took a break, and now he started back up.
Yeah.
Why do you think it was important for him to do that?
I think just training his mind to be able to play and get to the finals. Yeah. Our season was over. We got beat by Denver in Game 7. But to keep training and keep playing and just pushing your body to that point of, an extra 2 months of the season, that's tough.
Right.
And to train your mind and train your body, that's what he's getting ready for.
Right.
So I love that.
It's hard. I mean, because you're as a player, you play, and you see how great Kawhi is when he plays. And for some reason, his body has betrayed him. Sometimes, not all the time, because when he's healthy, it's hard to say he might not. He's borderline top 5, but he ain't getting out of the top 10 when he's healthy. Now you can say whatever, because he can still defend. Now he's not the defender, the 2-time Defensive Player of the Year defender, because he's kind of focused a little bit more offensively.
Right.
Back then he was just a defensive player that give you some offense. Now he's an offensive player that can still play outstanding defense. But when you watch him and you see, because a lot of people say, man, Kawhi, just that load management, ain't nothing wrong with him. When you see how hard he works, because everybody talks about how hard he actually works, and you see how his body sometimes betrays him, what goes through your mind?
I feel sorry for him, because all the work he puts in, we see it every day. And just what it takes to get on the floor on a consistent basis, it takes a lot for him to get out there.
Damn.
And so it's not like he's wanting to sit out and miss games. He puts the work in every single day.
Right.
And the grind that he has to do to even get on the floor to play is just tough, And so when he tries to push, through that threshold himself, he gets himself in trouble.
Right.
So a lot of times it's coming from us. It's coming from Lawrence Frank, the medical staff.
Right.
We got to protect him from himself, because, sometimes he wants to play back-to-backs, but we've seen the trend. If he does, then,
the knee go swell up.
Yeah,
Nope.
and so even though he wants to do it, sometimes we got to protect him from himself. And it's just tough, because he's not a guy that wants to sit out, not wanting to play. His whole mindset is to win championships, and that's what he wants to do. And sometimes, like you said, it's unfortunate. It's some bad luck that things happen, but it's not like he doesn't want to work or he doesn't want to play. That's definitely not true.
You played alongside Kobe. You played alongside Jordan. Has Kawhi ever, because a lot of people say his game is very, very similar because he had the mid-range game. Both of those guys had tremendous mid-range games. Has he ever asked you any questions about Jordan and Kobe?
All the time. Yeah, all the time, especially when I first got here. And so going down to San Diego, a couple of summers and just working with him and just showing him that, the moves and the routines that me and Jordan did every single morning. We went to we call it the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
We get up, we lift weights, go to breakfast, get to the gym about an hour and a half early, and I went through the same post moves that Jordan went through every single day for 2 years. And so I knew his routine, and so I brought that to Kawhi and just kind of showed him footwork, how they did it, what they were looking for, how to take advantage of different, and so he really picked up on it. And it was crazy. We were talking about it like 4 days ago. Like, when you come back to San Diego, and I was like, man, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? When you come back to LA.
But you might need to come to Vegas to get that in.
Yeah, so, but, he got it down and just showing him all the different things that I learned from Jordan and Kobe and just the footwork and stuff. And he picked it up and he really embraces it.
Right. Is he as quiet as he seems?
No. No, I mean, he's like me. I don't really like, being around the media and talking out, out front.
But when you
around his guys and around, he's a funny dude, man.
That's what people say.
Super funny.
People say he joking, he having a good time, but when the cameras are around, he's like so robotic.
Yeah, and that's kind of what makes him him. A lot of times, stars, they want to get out in front of the camera, they want to be seen, and he's the total opposite.
Right.
And so he rather let his game do the talking and speaking, and so you can respect that.
Right.
And I love that about him. But he's a funny dude.
You re-signed James Harden to 2-year deal. When you guys make the move and you get Harden, what was your expectation? Because you had saw him from afar. You see him score 36 a night. You've seen him win the MVP. You see a guy goes from the 6th man of the year to one of the 2 or 3 best players in the NBA. So when you get a guy like that, what's going through your head? Like, damn, I mean, I don't want to mess up too much of what he's doing, but I also need him to play within the scheme. So what's your thought process when you get a guy like a James Harden?
Yeah, it's tough. You just gotta, kind of figure out, the first thing you do is go to a player like that and say, you be who you are. And we're going to try to make sure we incorporate into the team dynamics.
Okay.
But be who you are. And if you're doing too much, we'll let you know.
Right.
But when he first came, I thought,
damn, T. Lue, you say you doing too much, you let him know?
Yeah. But I mean, when he first came, he wasn't doing enough. Like he was taking like 7 shots a game.
No, hell no.
And so PG, Kawhi, and then we had Russ, coming in. And so James is more the facilitator, making the plays. But when he started to score more and be more aggressive, I think we went 35-6 or something crazy, 33-6, and we had a hell of a stretch, once we got him. But we had worked on some all training camp about cutting and slashing and moving, and we brought him in. We just totally killed it, because James guys space, so he can make the right play and make sure guys are in their right spots. And so it made it tough for us, but we adjusted to it. And like you said, when guys are great, you just got to let them be great.
Right. How do you make sure that Game 7 doesn't happen again? Because we hear James Harden is great in the regular season, and then come playoff time, we don't seem to get that same level of James Harden. Is it mental? Is it something that you can do? Is it something the players around him can do? What can you guys do to make sure he's at his absolute best when you need him to be?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see what the difference is between Game 6 and Game 7. The Game 6 was an elimination game.
Right.
He had 36. Right. So, I don't think it's a mental thing. I think teams are prepping for a hell of a guy.
Right.
And so when you have 2 or 3 guys loaded up, not going to let you play to your strengths, not going to let you ISO and get to where you want to get to, it just makes it tough, And so
that's when other guys got to help out.
That's when I got to help out. That's when other guys got to step up. And I just take most of the blame. Like if he's not performing, if my players are not performing, it's on me. And so for me, if that's going to be a problem, then we just got to win in 6 games. Don't go to 7.
Yeah, I think that putback dunk by Gordon really it took a lot out of you, because y'all had that one, and then all of a sudden you like, we're about. What are you gonna go? I think you about to go. No, y'all would have won the game.
Yeah, no, it was tied.
It was tied up.
Yeah,
Okay,
it was overtime. But yeah.
Something that I can't recall, and you were around Kobe a lot more than me. And Jordan, I can't recall if he did it either. But when they had a bad game, they never ducked out on the medias.
No.
And it bothers me. When things go well, guy drop a 40-point triple-double, the guy got 50, 60, they'll talk. They have a bad game, and then they run from their responsibility of talking to the media. What's your take on that, T. Lue?
I don't like it, but I think guys are built certain ways in different ways. And I don't think it's more of a disrespect thing. I think it was more like you let yourself down because they train so hard and you work so hard to get to these moments. And if you don't play well, like you're pissed off at yourself.
Correct.
It's not the media or anybody else. And so, it's better ways you can handle it. I think guys should, but you never know how guys are feeling. Some guys can't handle it. You might get them on stage and they might go crazy.
You be glad. You're like, you should have ducked down on that one.
Exactly. So I mean, I wish it was a better way they could handle it, but if you don't play well, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, step up and meet the responsibility, of doing the media.
Ooh, that 98 draft class. Dirk, Paul Pierce, Vince Carter, Mike Bibby, Al Harrington, Larry Hughes, Rashard Lewis, Antoine Jameson, Jason Williams, Bonzi Well, Ricky Davis, Rayford Austin, Katino Mobley, Earl Boykins. What do you remember about that draft class? Y'all had a nice little squad.
Yeah.
You got Dirk's in the hall, Pierce is going to the hall, Vince Carter's in the hall.
Yeah, it was crazy because my junior year, at Nebraska, I had a really good year, and so I was like, man, can I come out? Because I didn't know if Steve Francis was gonna come, and then Baron Davis,
right? And
Baron Davis had got hurt, and he tore his ACL at UCLA, and so when he got pushed back, he's gonna come out that year.
Right.
So if BD would have came out, I'd have came back to school for my senior year.
Right.
So once he got hurt, that's why BD's my guy. So once he got hurt, I was like, I gotta make a move.
Yeah.
And so I came out, ended up being the 23rd pick. But just going through that draft, it was crazy because I had a chance and opportunity to go 15.
Yeah.
Like Orlando said they were gonna take me 15th because they had 3 picks.
Right.
They had so they took Mike Doliak at 12, Keon Clark at 13, and then for 15 they were supposed to take me, but they took Matt Harpering.
From Georgia Tech.
Yeah, from Georgia Tech. And then I think 16 was Michael Dixon, but then Michael Dixon went 14, and then Bryce Drew went 16.
Okay.
And I was supposed to win 16th, and I didn't do that. So then when you don't know, you kind of like, what's going on?
Go down all of a sudden, you thought 15, you don't go 16, 17, 18.
Right.
So you start sliding, you're like, damn, did I make the right decision?
Right. And so, they wanted to have a draft party back in Mexico for me, and I was like, man, I ain't going to be embarrassed. Like, I ain't having a draft party, don't get drafted. So I was in New York, with my agent Andy Miller at his house. And so, when I heard my name get called by the Denver Nuggets 23rd pick, like I went crazy.
Right.
Like, it was just like a dream come true. And, for a guy, like you said, from Mexico, that doesn't happen.
Right.
And so it was like, a blessing, a dream come true.
And then you get traded. You get drafted to the Nuggets 23rd pick, Tyronn Lue. Yay. That pick was traded to the
now backflips. Yeah. go from happy to like backflips. Man, the Lakers, Kobe and come on, man.
And Shaq.
Come on. Kobe and Shaq and like being in LA. And then so like what blew my high was I like when they said traded to the Lakers, because I know Jerry West came and watched me play.
Right.
In Hawaii, we played against Virginia, and I had a hell of a game. He was sitting courtside, like thumbs up, like winking at me. I was like, "Oh, like you know what I'm saying?"
Let me keep this up.
And they say I get traded to the Lakers. Man, I jump off the couch, I go crazy. My agent scared me. Well, this is totally different. You're not going to Denver. You're going to the Lakers. So this is very important. You got to. So he scared me. So now I'm going from being high to like scared.
Killed your high.
Killed my high. Like, and we talk about to this day. Like, damn. Like I was like excited, and now he scared me because now like I'm like shit. Like what I got to do now?
Right.
Like So, but like that was huge, man.
You go into a situation, T. Lue, where you're all Big 12 and you're handling the ball, you're scoring, and that's not going to be what you're going to be doing in L.A. So how do you transition? Because you transition forgot. I mean, you could score, but you nah, that ain't my thing. Let me lock in on this defensive end. That's how I'm going to have to be.
Well, what's crazy is that like coming out of college, I averaged 23 that year. And so. All I knew was scoring the basketball and, playing with pace, playing with speed. And so when I got to the Lakers, I came in, it was lockout season. So the first 35 games, I ain't even suit up. I didn't even suit up.
Damn.
I wore a suit for the first 35 games. And so, we only played 50 games that season.
Right.
Dale Harris got fired and Kurt Rambis took over.
Right.
And he was my workout guy, that whole time while Dale Harris was there. And so the last 15 games, he gave me opportunity to play. And I played well,
Right.
but just looking at it like every day I'm like scoring in practice, I'm doing my thing, never got me on the floor. But just sitting back and just observing and seeing what guys were doing and what I could bring, I said, okay, like D-Fish he's a good player, solid player, makes open shots, does the right thing, doesn't turn the ball over. But we don't have an energy guy, like a guy could pick up full court, pressure the basketball, and so just looking at that and just learning from that instead of, being pissed off and being mad, like just learning, getting better. I seen what they needed, and when I got my opportunity, man, I just picked up. I ain't never been a defensive player. I mean, I can play defense, but like I've always been a scorer, and so to be able to do that and see what we needed and then make that my niche to get on the floor, like that's what I had to do, so I was willing to do it.
You should be like a lot of these players look up to Michael Jordan and all these other guys. Peyton Pritchard and T.J. McConnell should look up to you. That was your gig before, way back when.
Yeah.
You get to L.A., Shaq, and people always talk about Shaq's generosity. It was reported that Shaq gave you a sum of money to go get laced out.
It's funny because, when I first met him, we went to the Century Club. And so when I first met him, he didn't know who I was. Like, they had drafted me. He didn't really know who I was. And then Uncle Jerome, like, man, that's the guy we just drafted from.
Right.
He's like, oh, okay. Like, whatever. He said, all right, well, just come to the house tomorrow. I'm going to have my chef cook and just come by. And so I said, all right. So I brought a couple of my guys. We go to Shaq's house. Man, a hell of a spread. We eat good. And so we just sitting around talking. And he's like, all right, here, before you leave, hold up. So he goes to the back, comes out with $10,000, like, here, go shop and get yourself. I was like, what? He's like, yeah. I was like, man, I can't pay this back. Like, it's lockout. I'm getting half my money. Like, he's like, no, just keep it. Don't worry about it. Just keep it.
Damn.
Like, that's the kind of guy he was. Like, bought Mark Matson a truck, like, because he wasn't getting around.
Right.
But, like, that's who he was, man. Like, Shaq would give you anything. He took care of a lot of people. And, like I said, he don't get a lot of credit for that, but I mean, he's always been like that.
He's like a big kid.
Yeah.
If you see him, I mean, the thing, like, he goes in the store, he's like, and the parents will tell the kid to put it back because they can't pay for it. He say, nah, I got it.
Right.
He's a oversized, he's a 50-yard, I think Shaq's probably 50, 51, 52, but he's a big kid.
Yeah.
He's a big kid that wants the best for everybody.
Everybody, yeah.
But he a prankster, though.
Oh, a super prankster. So, one time, Devin George, we're on the team and Shaq had told him to do something. He didn't do it.
Uh-oh.
And so usually he'd like wrap a towel around his hand. He'll punch you and beat you up until, till you surrender. But this day, like Devin, we had a game and Devin he didn't do something that morning, bring donuts or the newspaper or something. And Shaq went in the bathroom and he shit it. And he shit it in Devin's shoes. And so when he come out of the locker room, he kind of like, knocked it where it comes to like the top of your shoe. And so Devin not knowing we getting ready for the game, Devin not knowing he comes in, puts his shoe in, and he puts his foot in a pile of shit. Shaq, like he would do stuff like that all the time, like just crazy.
Come on, Shaq.
Yeah, crazy stuff, man.
So
crazy.
What did Devin do?
What could he do? I mean, what you gonna do? Like,
oh man, come on, Shaq, man, that was unnecessary.
He was mad, but like, what could he do? And nothing he could do about that. Like, just take it as a loss. For one, you might get beat up, and then two, you might get cut. So you know what I'm saying?
You was a lose.
Yeah.
But you was also you played with Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
Because obviously he's one of the great small rebounders. He might be the greatest small rebounder in NBA history. You talk about a guy that's 6'7", that led the league in rebounding for like 7 straight years. I mean, he was getting like 17, 18 rebounds a game, which is unheard of. So what was he like? Was he like, because Shaq? I saw Shaq said he didn't like to take showers. He would leave and go straight to the club. So what was he like? Practice behind the scenes.
He was a hard worker. He was quiet. Like, he didn't really do a lot of talking. But when he stepped on the floor, like he gave everything he had every single day.
Wow.
And so the funny thing is, like, when we wore our practice uniforms and stuff, he always wore like pajama pants and like a white T-shirt. That's how he practiced. So, but I mean, just talk to him on the end of the bench because I wasn't playing at the time.
Right.
Like, so, like I said, the first 35 games. Like, I'm on the sideline, he comes sit on the end of the bench and like just talking to me about, what Jordan did and like how Kobe, reminds him a lot of Jordan.
Right.
And the similarities. And we just talk, a lot at the end of the bench,
Right.
but he wasn't a big talker,
Right.
Hard worker. I don't like the way it ended. They kind of like, made it like it was his fault or
Right.
whatever, but it wasn't.
Was he taking his shoes off at that time?
Oh, yeah. He always had his shoes off. Yeah, he always had his shoes off. And now that I'm older, I see why. Like, it's comfortable, but like I see why. But
Right.
I mean, he wasn't a problem at all. Like when he was supposed to do his job, he did his job, and you saw it by the fans loved him too when he was here.
Oh yeah, they love everywhere he's been. The fans love him.
Yeah.
You were the Lakers from '98 to 2001. You won 2 championships. What was that time like? Because LA loves winners, and if you win in LA, you're golden forever.
Yeah, I mean, it was like being, with the Beatles. What I mean? You had Kobe, Shaq, we had Rick Fox, who was a movie star, and Ron Harper, who already won with
the Bulls,
Jordan.
yeah.
B. Shaw, D. Fish, then the first one was Glenn Rice. We had
Right.
Robert Horry and Horace Grant. It was just like traveling with the Beatles, and like every city we went to, Shaq had a birthday party. So I'm like, damn, like when is your birthday? Like every time we went to a new city, like tonight, Shaquille O'Neal birthday bash, and so, when we get there, like the whole team, that's what was different about now and then back then. Our whole team went out, like 15 guys, like every single night. So when we got to a city, we go out, have fun, we kick it. But you knew, like every time we stepped into the arena, like we was gonna win,
Right.
Like, and so, like to have that feeling, knowing that when we go into an arena, we're gonna win,
Right.
Like it was no better feeling.
Right.
And then, like I said, at the time, having the 2 best players in the world, like, I mean, what could you do about that?
Would you say, because you were there, you were in it, would you say guys were closer then, or are teams guys closer now?
Closer then. I mean, because you didn't have the social media.
Okay.
Guys wasn't playing all the video games.
Okay.
It wasn't a lot to do. So
Right.
guys, we always stay connected. You played cards. You went out together. You went to dinner together. But now with just so much social media and so many, movie outlets and all the different things you can do now, it's totally different.
Right.
But back then, like we all was together every single day. And like every team I was on back then, it was the same way.
Your coming out, unfortunately for you, was in the NBA Finals, because that's when everybody knew like Tyronn Lue was. And you took the assignment of guarding Allen Iverson, who was the MVP that season.
Mm-hmm.
And look, he went haywire. He went that first game 1, he went crazy.
Yeah.
But you were undeterred. Like when you giving it everything you got, it's like, come on, T. Lue,
Right.
you gotta get, like, bro, I'm giving this dude everything I got.
I mean,
Ain't nothing working.
nah, he's a beast. And like, I mean, to be relentless the way he was and how he attacked every single time, like, and it's crazy. Like, he's like probably 2 or 3 years older than me, but I idolized him.
Right.
Like, just how he carried himself,
Yeah.
being 6 foot, with the braids and, bringing that hip hop culture to,
Yes.
to the NBA.
He has a heavy influence on the NBA.
And so it was crazy. The 2 weeks leading up to the finals, I played AI in practice every single day. So I was able to run fast and
Right.
forget the triangle. Like I was able to, run fast, shoot all the balls.
Right.
And so I knew everything, just studying the film, watching him and all of his counters, everything he did. And so in that first half, I didn't play. I was on the side. I didn't play the first half of the game.
Right.
And so with 6 minutes to go in the third quarter, I'm sitting on the floor, me and Devin George, and then, Phil looks down to the end of the bench, is like, Lube. I was like, I jumped up. At this point, AI had 36 points already.
Man, what you want me to do?
Yeah, with 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. He ended with 48. But like just having that chance to play and like
Right.
I said, play against someone you idolize and respected so much, and so I know a lot of people make it like a big deal over the step over
Right.
and all that, but like to me it's just competing. Like
Right.
if you play hard, you compete, there's gonna be some things that happen that you don't want to happen. You're gonna get dunked on, you're gonna get crossed over, whatever it may be.
Right.
But like they act like he crossed me over, I fell down,
Right.
he stepped over me, like he made a good move. I contested the shot, walked back, he stepped over me. And I think the biggest thing was Doug Collins, because he steps over Lou, he goes crazy. So then I made a big deal
Yeah.
out of it, which, it don't bother me. Like people see me all the time, like, that's Tyler, that's the guy that AI stepped over.
Right.
So that's how I'm known. Not a 3-time champion or, like nothing like the guy that AI stepped over. So it's whatever. It's
Right.
cool. Yeah.
Was AI the toughest matchup you had? Because you've had to guard. I mean, you've had to guard a lot. I mean,
No, he was the toughest matchup I ever had to guard, hands down.
but when you look at, because I'm older than AI, and I remember him. He's 6 foot tall, but he thin.
Yeah.
Did he weigh 160?
160. That's what he weighed. No, that's what he weighed. 160. But man, just speed, athletic ability, the way he attacked you.
Right.
Like his handle, like he could do everything. He
Right.
could shoot it, mid-range, to the rack, finish over bigs,
Yeah.
dunk on a big,
Right.
like get you in foul trouble. And then in transition, he was like a miniature LeBron. Like he was
Right.
unstoppable in transition, and so he definitely was the hardest guy I had to guard, in my career.
Kobe, you were close to Kobe, and did you guys played a lot of ones?
Yeah.
You get it?
Never. Because this guy right here. So, a funny story is, my second year, I think 8th game of the season, I got hurt.
Right.
So I had to get microfracture surgery.
Okay.
And Kobe had broke his hand. And so when we got better, like, just rehabbing or whatever. So like for 3 months, me and Kobe worked out every single day. The team was on the road. It's just me and Kobe. And so me and my cousin Doodle, we would go to the gym and we would play one-on-one full court.
Right.
And I could never beat him. Like I could, because I was a great
Right.
one-on-one player.
Right.
And so we be in the car, we get back and say, man, why you can't beat him? Like I said, man, I don't know. Like I just can't beat him. And then like 2 years later, he became Kobe. It was like, oh, I see why. I see why I could never beat him. But like people don't get the chance to see Kobe had a handle like the ball on a string.
Yeah.
All that and one stuff and he had all that.
Right.
Like never lost a handle. Like when you talk about guys like skill wise,
right.
He was one of the baddest guys ever. And so something I had to clean up, I want to clean up today.
Yes, sir.
And I talked to John Sally already. So he told a story on a podcast about Kobe was on the plane
right.
and like he was bobbing his head like
right.
he was listening to music.
Right.
And so we was at the card table playing cards and John Sally said, "You're not listening to music, are you?" He's like, "You listen to everything everybody's saying." And he was like, "Yeah, I'm listening to everybody." He's like, "Why are you doing that?" And he was like, to see if somebody talking about it, he said, nobody talking about it. So I just want to make sure I know what's going on
right.
or whatever. But John Side told a story that I was talking shit about Kobe.
Right.
I'm like, Kobe, I would know. He said, no, I didn't say that. It got cut and the snip, how they did. I said, no, you got to clean that up because that's
right.
my guy.
Right.
And I would never talk shit about Kobe.
Right.
So he said he got a podcast with the same people 2 weeks from now and he's going to clean it up because that's not the way it happened. Right. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Did you know? Because sometimes people like, man, did you know he would be that?
I did.
From working out with him, because like you said, you working out behind the scenes. And because, everybody I remember 17-year-old and Dale Harris getting an opportunity in Utah and he airballing the last shot. That's what people like, well, damn. I was like, everybody keeps saying he going to be good, he going to be good. I'm like, well, damn. But I did factor in, I was like, dude's supposed to be a senior in high school, really, though. He ain't supposed to be in the NBA. You could tell that he was going to be that. He was going to be Kobe.
Yeah, but not to factor in the air balls, to factor in he took those shots.
What?
The mentality. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
The mentality to take those shots.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Because a lot of times people shy away from it.
Oh, they don't want it. Yeah, they don't want it. And I've seen that. And so at 17, 18 years old, to have the mentality to take those shots and shoot the air balls, like the thing about Kobe, which is different, is I've never heard him talk about money. Like how much money he made or how much money. It was always about he wanted to be the greatest. Like I want to be the best. And to see the work he put in every single day, you can tell that's what he wanted to do.
Right.
And just from being there at 5 o'clock in the morning, being the first guy there, working on his body. What 17-year-old guy, is working on their body, getting the soft tissue stuff, eating right.
Mature way beyond his years.
Yeah, like nobody's doing that.
Right.
And so to see all the stuff that he did at that age, it was just phenomenal. You knew he was going to be. I knew he was going to be great. Like, had no doubts about that. Just the work he put in and how hard he worked. It was going to happen.
But I think I forget the outlet. They had Kobe ranked the 11th best player in the history of the game. You played with Kobe. You played in this league. You coached in this league for a number of years. The 11th best player?
I would never say that, but it's my era. I don't know, like back in the day, I can't speak on how great guys was back then because it's still like the TV outlets, the games wasn't on TV.
But yeah.
You heard about it.
The games were tape delayed until.
Yeah. So you never saw it.
Right.
But in my era, if I had to pick and choose and say, was he better than the guys back in the day? Oh, no question at all.
Right.
Like, no question. I mean, to win 5 championships, like I said, to win 2, without Shaq, we thought would never happen. And to do all the things he did, come on, man. Like, no, definitely not 11. That's crazy.
Had Shaq and Kobe stayed together, let's just say they would have had a harmonious relationship. I'm trying to think. It's hard to say because Stockton and Malone wasn't on that level. Stockton was the best player. There was no question about it. No ifs, and a but. It's hard to say Pippen and Jordan. Jordan was the best player. There's no ifs, ands, and buts. But when you got two guys and you got two thoroughbreds and they're running and they looking eye to eye, I'm the best. No, I'm the best. I'm the best.
In the world. Not on the team.
Yeah. The world.
In the world, yeah.
Had they been able to coincide, let's just say for another 3 years, how many championships do you think they win?
They could have won 8. They could have won 8. And if, I know I wasn't there for the Detroit series or whatever, and I'm glad my best friend Chauncey got a championship. You know what I'm saying? But, there was some bickering back and forth then. They could have, easily won that. But if they had stayed together, they had won 7, 8 championships. Could nobody beat that dude? Somebody might have slipped up and won. Detroit won. Right. And they had a hell of a team. And the job they did was phenomenal. But okay, if you leave outside that year and come back the next 3,
right.
Nobody's beating them.
The rivalries, the marching bands, the upsets, Saturdays just got way more fun. College football is back. Think you know the game? Put your college football knowledge to the test with DraftKings Sportsbook and turn your picks into big payouts, from live betting during the games to rivalry week odds boosts and so much more. DraftKings Sportsbook have everything you need to stay in the action from kickoff to final whistle, whether you're betting on your go-to team or making moves mid-games as momentum shifts. Saturdays, yours to own with DraftKings Sportsbook. Here's something special for first-timers. New customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code Shannon, that's code Shannon for new customers, to get $300 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. If it had been a situation, I think the best situation we can use in this situation, T. Lue, is Kareem and Magic. People don't realize this, but Magic's rookie year, Kareem was MVP.
Right.
Magic was Finals MVP.
Right.
But as they started to progress, Pat Riley said, "I need more from you." He called him Buck. Mm-hmm. That's what he called Young Buck. Yeah. He says, "I need more scoring from you." Magic asked Pat Riley to his face, "You run that by Cap?" Did you hear that with Kareem?
Right.
Because Kareem, he gonna get that thing down the block. He said, "I'd run it by him." If they could have had that type of relationship, I don't think nobody beat them.
No.
I think they might like the Bulls won 3 and then took 2 years off. Yeah. If they'd have had a Kareem and Magic type of relationship, I don't think nobody could beat them.
No, and I'm mad they didn't. I'm mad because that was greatness.
And we might have never see that again.
No, never.
Because it's a perfect situation, T. Lue, because you got a big and a little.
Right.
It's a guard and a center.
Yeah.
And you're never gonna get somebody Kobe skill with Shaq dominance.
Right.
You saw it.
Right.
I'm glad I saw it.
Me too. I'm glad I was a part of it.
I'm glad you was a part of it. You got an opportunity to see it up close and personal. How dominant was it on every night? Shaq gonna give you 30, Kobe gonna give you 27.
Yeah.
Kobe gonna go score 40, Shaq gonna give you 30 and 20.
Right.
To watch that every night, and because back then teams have about 4 or 5 bigs, because 2 bigs he fouled them out.
Wow. That's easy. That's
barbecue chicken.
Yeah, foul trouble the first 3 minutes. The starting center is out of the game in the first 3 minutes. And what they don't understand is when you go to Hack-a-Shaq, which is cool, now you in a bonus with 6 minutes to go. Now Kobe goes to work. So any hand check, Kobe's going to the free throw line. You know, so man, come on, man. It just was. He was just so dominant. That's why, when you walk into an arena or you go on the road, can't nobody beat us. Yeah. We got Kobe and Shaq. No matter how things go, how bad I'm playing, or D-Fish or Rick, it don't matter, B-Shaw. We don't got to make a shot. We know we got at least 70 coming from these 2 guys. And back then, you was only sgoring 80. So we got to get 10 points, between
the two. Yeah. Between the other 7 of us.
Yeah, so it don't matter. They going to get 70. All we got to do is get 10. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't matter, man. And so, that's how great they were. But, a lot of teams have a 1-2 punch, or these are the best 2 players in the world on the same team.
Yes.
When has that ever been done?
Do you think we'll ever see another Shaq? Because people don't realize how Shaq was 7'1", was 325. Shaq could run. Shaq was agile. Shaq could beat. I'm trying to think of somebody that size. Maybe Wilt, but I didn't see Wilt play.
Yeah.
That's the only person I could think of that was that side that could get up and down the court.
Right.
But people don't realize how athletic Shaq was.
Oh, man. He was super athletic. Like, take out the glass, push it, go full court, no-look passes, and just seeing, like, how he moved. Like, he, people give him, stuff about being in the pick and roll, like, whatever. But, like, he was agile. Like, he can move. He can side to side laterally. He can up and down. He can do whatever you want. And to be that big and be that dominant, like, we'll never see that ever again.
No.
I mean, I don't how?
No.
Like,
not a guy his size that can move like that.
Right.
You look, there are guys, okay, Jokic might can make better shots, can, that and Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about his size, his ability. Nobody will ever be that dominant again.
Never.
Nope. Dude, if you were the coach, let's just say I'm going to make you Phil Jackson, and you're the coach of Shaq and Kobe. How do you keep them together? How do you make peace?
Whatever it takes. No, seriously, you can't lose that. Like, that changes people's lives forever. Not just Shaq and Kobe, what feels already feel,
right.
But the organization,
right.
All of us role players, like, like that changed our lives forever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you keep those guys together and you get a chance to win 6, 7, 8 championships, like in LA.
Right.
Like, come on, man. Like, no better thing. And so whatever I had to do, whatever I had to say, I was gonna do it, and so you had to. Like, there's no way you can lose Shaq.
Right.
Like, they had to stay together, and so that was just very disappointing. Especially all the success that we had.
Right.
It was disappointing to see that happen.
I think the thing for me is that Shaq replaying in his mind saying he wish he had done things different because he knows he left at bare minimum he left 2 championships with the Lakers on the court. He knows that.
Right.
He knows it.
I think more than that. But
yes,
at minimum.
Yeah. And so now he sees all these guys winning MVPs and winning titles, and he's like, and people start talking about, well, he's up there. It's like, hold on, wait a minute, y'all forgot about me.
I don't know how. There's never, like I said, it's never going to be a player like Shaq ever again.
No, not that size, not that athleticism, not that dominant. No,
never.
No.
And so, like I said, I just sad that it happened, the way it did, because they were supposed to be together forever,
right.
In my eyes,
What was Kobe like in practice? Because everybody say, like, look, Lue will tell the story that he made him take off his shoes because they were bull jiving in the game. They didn't play hard. What was he like in practice? Because we heard the Last Dance, Jordan, how he swung on Steve Kerr, that he was not afraid to approach guys, get in guys' face to make sure everybody was giving their best effort, not in the game, but practice. What was Kobe?
What you saw in the game?
That's
that
how
was Kobe. Every single day. Every single day. He wanted to be the best player every single day in practice, in the game, and that's just how he competed. And so every time we got a new player, like, Glenn Rice, and Glenn Rice was a bad dude.
Yeah.
Kobe wanted to play one-on-one to show him, like, this is my team.
Damn.
We got J.R. Ryder, same thing. Like, J.R. Ryder got there. He wanted to play in one-on-one, show him this is my team. Like, because
you used to be mad over there, but not here.
Yeah, and so that's just who he was. Like, competed every single possession, every sprint, every drill. Like, he wanted to be the best, and that's no bullshit. Like, it's every single day he was the same person. What you see in the game, you saw in practice every single day.
You end up leaving, and you go to Washington. You end up at Washington with 40-year-old Jordan. Obviously, he's not the same. He's not the first three-peat. He's not the end three-peat. He's taking time off, and he comes back. But could you see why he was Michael Jordan?
Oh, no doubt. You see a guy that's 40 years old, and he averaged 21 points a game on one leg. See, people don't take into consideration, like, he played on one leg, one knee,
right.
For 2 years.
Right.
And he averaged 20 points a game, and so I could just see coming in to the gym, like, Kobe, like I said, was a super worker. And you see a guy like Jordan, you come to practice, 2 hours early, think you coming in about to work out. Jordan's already done. Lathered up, done lifted, sweat on the court, did all his footwork stuff, all his basketball stuff. You're like, damn, like, I came 2 hours early. He's already done at 40. So what was he like at 23, 24, 25? And so you knew that's why he was who he was. And so when I first walked in, I was in awe, like, to be able to play with somebody you looked up to and idolized your whole life, and to be,
He don't even seem real, does he?
No.
See?
No.
People think I'm lying when I say that. The first time I saw him,
Yeah.
he levitating, and I'm looking at this man. He probably think he like, man, Sterling Sharpe, little brother, look crazy. Because I'm looking at him like he not, because he not real.
Yeah.
T. Lue, he not real.
And when people see him, like, you know, he never had a lot of security.
No.
Like, but when people see him, they stop. Like, because they're like in awe, like, oh, that's my. And then before you can really say something, he's already gone.
No.
Like, it wasn't a lot of crowd control.
Right.
Like, because, like, you see him and you just freeze.
Right.
Like, all the other celebrities and stars, and like, people gonna run to him and go
Right.
crazy.
Right.
Nobody ever really ran to Jordan because when
you can't believe it's
you
him.
can't believe it. Like, it's just like he's walking, like, oh, you tap somebody, you look, you froze. And then you look up, he's gone.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it was. It never was like and they rush and go
Right.
crazy because you just couldn't believe it.
Wow.
You know, and that's just
And he played at 40. He played all 82.
82 games, second year, yeah.
It seemed to me back then. I mean, he came in that era. Well, it was important to play 82
A
games.
badge of honor.
I don't think it's important now.
No,
It's not important now.
It's a badge of honor, especially back then. But if you look at a lot of the medical, the science, it makes sense. You know, it's like to play 82 games. But see, back then we played 82 games, and then you had a 2-hour practice the next day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
now guys play.
And a
we
lot
don't
of guys, they were taking commercial flights before this thing got high tech,
Exactly.
and they took charter.
Yeah.
Them guys were flying commercial.
Yeah, going to the airport.
Yeah, getting in line with it.
Sleeping in the airport,
Yes.
leaving at 6:00 in the morning to catch flights to go to another city. So it was a badge of honor to play 82 games back then. Like that's what you wanted to do,
Right.
You know, and so, but with the medical and the science how it is today, like it makes sense why a lot of us can't walk now,
Right,
Because you
yeah.
know, like how hard we went, all the practices, all the games,
Right.
So it is a little science to it, but like back then you wanted to play every game.
Right.
That was your mindset.
I've heard a lot of people say, in today's game, in the game, the way it's being played and the way it's being officiated today, Jordan at his apex, how many points would he average?
Today?
Yeah.
Oh, man. 45?
You bull jobbing, T. Lue?
What you mean? You can't touch nobody. It's a foul. So, I mean, you got the best player in the world. You know what I'm saying? You got the best player in the world.
45, T. Lue?
What, he averaged 36 one year?
He averaged 37.
37.
Yeah.
So, yeah, add 8 to that. Because now every time you get touched, it's 2 free throws.
Right.
You know, so, I mean, like the zone stuff could be a difference. And,
Right.
you know, like back then with illegal defense. But, yeah, I mean, I don't see like it wouldn't be a year he wouldn't average 45.
Wow.
You couldn't touch nobody. I mean, you can't touch nobody
Right,
now.
right,
So
right.
like the physicality's, you know, pretty much gone.
Yeah.
Anything you go into the free throw line and just how smart he was. And
Right.
especially, you know, especially nowadays, like take advantage of these guys, you know, just far as just IQ alone.
Right. What's some of the best advice Jordan gave you?
So when I first came to Washington, you know, so I was in the triangle for, you know, 2 years on the field. So when I came to Washington, I was like, man, I guess I got turned loose. Now I can just play my game and, you
Yeah.
know, so when I got there, like I was just, man, playing with pace, pushing it, you know, just not understanding really how to play the game.
Right.
But just playing the game. If
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And so he just taught me like, you know, different reads, how to run the pick and roll. If a guy's playing you like this, you know, do this. It should be your counter. And he gave me a lot of confidence.
Right.
You know, I think shooting the basketball because, you know, I could shoot, but, you know, when he kick it out to you, like Jordan passed you the ball, you're like, oh, like, you know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Like, he's like, man, I don't care if you miss 5 in a row. If you open, you got to shoot it.
Right.
And gave me that confidence, which the second year when I was there, I was like second in the league in 3-point shooting. Wow. But it all came from that first year.
Right.
And I don't think I had the confidence that I needed, like I said, to play with Jordan.
Right.
And he gave me that confidence. So going to that second year, I was like, man, I was pissed off because I didn't play the way I wanted to play.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was going to be the starter. Chris Whitney came in, did a hell of a job. He was a starter. He played well. And then Larry Hughes came in. And then I think that second year, I came in with a chip on my shoulder when we got to training camp, like I'm coming in to be the starter.
Right.
And that happened for me. But it all came from that first year of Jordan giving me confidence to be the player I wanted to be.
Was he hard on players?
Yes.
Too hard?
No. I mean, if you do your job, you ain't got to be hard on people. Like, just do your job.
Right.
You know, so like, if you come in every day and do your job,
Right.
I can't be hard on you.
Right.
You know, but if you slacking, if you bullshitting, like, yeah, he wasn't taking that. He wasn't going to tolerate that. You know, and so.
So he was almost like he was a player coach.
Yeah. on the floor.
Right.
Like if you slack and you're not doing what you're supposed to do,
Right.
he's gonna call you out. He's gonna challenge you. If you can't handle the challenge, then you just can't play.
Right. Because look, he took a 17-year-old kid from Glenn Academy in Kwame Brown. And Kwame is a 6'11". He was, and everybody said, well, you took this guy. But, I mean, by most draft boards, Kwame was the best player coming out that year.
A phenom.
Yes.
Kwame was
6'11", could run up and down the court. I mean, he had it all.
First step, can drive, can pass. Like I said, running the floor. He's athletic, can do everything. Can do everything. But, when you put a young kid in that situation, I was 4 or 5 years older than Kwame.
Right.
You put me in that situation, I was already scared to play with Michael Jordan.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yes.
if you put a 17, 18-year-old kid with Michael Jordan, and then you're the number one pick, so the expectations
are through the roof.
Yeah, and so that's hard. That's hard for anybody. I've seen guys that are, great players and guys that, 10,
all-stars and all NBA.
Play with LeBron and, get to Cleveland, couldn't make a shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, scared to death. So you can imagine, like, an 18-year-old Kwame. And Kwame was talented. He was skilled. And he had great years. He played, 12 years, 13 years?
Yes.
And he was a really good player, And so people look at, what he should have done from the expectations of being number one pick, playing with Jordan. But Jordan put a lot of.
Right. If he let's just say for the sake of argument, he's still the number one pick and he goes somewhere else. Does his career turn out different, you think?
I think so. Because now he's being featured. The mistakes he's made, the mistakes he made are not being magnified now.
Right.
You're not on TV because Jordan is there.
Right.
So you're probably going to a worse team. Jordan, when he came to Wizards, we was bad, but we had a TV time.
Right. You still had Jordan, and then with Jordan, there's expectations.
Exactly. And so if he went to another team, he'd have been, it'd have been a lot different. He would have been able to make those mistakes as an 18-year-old kid, and he'd be able to grow and learn, instead of
at his pace. Because everything, when you play with a historically transcendent great player, everything gets sped up. There ain't no learning.
None.
You got, go. I ain't never driven before.
Right.
Drive.
Right. Yeah. And that's how it was, And so but Kwame, he was, man, that was the right pick. He was a bad dude.
Also on that team was Charles Oakley. Now Oak, my boy.
Yeah.
Now Oak is no nonsense. He ain't gonna take no mess.
Right.
Do what you're supposed to do. He old school. What was it like playing with Oak?
I loved it. Yeah, I loved it. First of all, I walked around, thought I had security everywhere I went. So I wasn't really tripping off, nothing. But what Oak was really good at, he was a chef.
Yeah.
And so we would go to,
he loved to cook.
Yeah. He would cook for us like 2 times a week. He's, throw down, with the best of them. But, Oak taught me a lot too. Like you said, just, being on time, being a pro, putting in the work, how he saw the game, because he could really pass, just seeing the game, different reads, and so he really was a mentor, like you said, to Kwame and our younger guys. We had a young team, Heidi White, Eton Thomas, like those bigs, like Brendan Haywood, like those guys looked up to Oak, and he really showed them a lot as well. And just bringing that professionalism as being a older vet, he was really good for us.
NBC got got a part of the NBA package back. One of their contributors, analysts, is going to be Michael Jordan. What type of analyst? I can just imagine the first time he criticized somebody. I wonder if they're going to say he don't know what he's talking about.
Right.
Or what did he do? Because they said that about everybody else. They said that about everybody else. Well, he wasn't that good. He wasn't that good. So I wonder if Jordan ever says he didn't play well, somebody didn't play well, what will that guy say?
I think they'll take it, but I don't think it's more so to be critical or critique. I think it's more so to be around the game.
Right.
Like we need them.
Right.
Like we miss them.
Right.
And so, we bought the team, you go play there once a year or twice. You see them sometimes.
Right.
But I think we need him around the game.
Right.
And so for our younger guys to be able to see him and see who he is and, what he's done for this league and, be around the greatest,
how they pull that off? NBC, I'm trying to figure out how they pull that off, because he's a guy he likes to be, he's ultra competitive.
Right.
He got a fishing team. He used to have a motorcycle team. He has a NASCAR team. So he likes to compete, but he likes to compete. Right. Like him.
Right.
He liked to be on the boat fishing. He liked to be around the cars. He liked
golfing.
Man, playing cards. I don't know. I know you got them card stores, because he was a card. Boo Ray was his Boo Ray Gus. That's the tongue. Oh my goodness. He loves being competitive. I'm just anxious to hear to see how he sees the game and what he's going to say about the game. Does he like the way the game is being played? Does he like all these 3-point shots? Does he like all these guys? I mean, there are some guys ain't got no business taking a 3-point shot, but the analytics say they need to get up 30. This team needs to get up 30 a game, so anybody can shoot them.
Yeah,
I'm just anxious to hear what he has to say about that, Luke.
Yeah, no, I think that would be interesting, but I think, to me, I think it's going to be more there to help. I think, help the young guys, and just help the game grow. He wasn't a big 3-point shooter, so
no.
I think they said the mid-range game is a lost art.
It is.
And if teams are going to play in deep drops and let you come off and take that shot, then why would you master that shot?
Right.
Like, why would you master the shot that teams are giving up? And if you see all the game winners or all the clutch shots or big shots in NBA history throughout the playoffs, they're all mid-range.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're never 20, 30 foot through. Like, Steph can make some, but other than that, it's always a mid-range shot that wins that game.
Right.
And so why not master and be great at something that teams are giving up?
Right.
So I think he'll be here just to help and enhance the game, like you said, as best he can.
You played with T-Mac at 2 stops. You was at T-Mac in Orlando and in Houston, right?
Yeah.
So there's been a lot being said, and I think T-Mac said it first that had he been on that Lakers team, that he believed they'd have won as many championships as Shaq and Kobe. Shaq co-signed what he said. And a lot of people are like, come on, bro. Everybody just got revisionist history now.
Right.
And not to say T-Mac wasn't a good, but do you believe they would have won as many championships? Because I hate when people do this, T-Lou.
Yeah.
A great player, well, if you'd have put him on that team, it doesn't necessarily mean it's true.
It doesn't work like that. But I think they definitely would have won. Like, I don't know what degree, but T-Mac he had no weaknesses. Defensively, he can guard 1, 2, 3, 4. He's 6'9".
Right.
Offensively, run pick and roll, make the right pass, make the right play, post up, either shoulder, turnaround jump shot, mid-range pull-ups, can finish, athletic. And like I said, I think with coaching and I think being in the triangle, like I said, Whitfield, he would have flourished. Like, he definitely would have flourished. And then you got Shaq, who's, like I said, the best player in the world, But, like, I don't know if, like, it's just hard to compare.
It
you know
is.
What I'm saying? But, like, what Cole brought every single day, the mentality that he had every single day, like, you got to bring that. And you had to have that and bring it to Shaq every day.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if T-Mac could have done that.
Right.
Like,
because you got to push Shaq.
Yeah, Shaq. And so Cole pushed Shaq every day. So like, if T-Mac could he have done that? I mean, I don't know that. But as far as talent wise, I mean, he was, like I said, one of the most talented guys we've seen in this game. So I think he definitely would have won. But it's not the talent and the court stuff. It's the challenging Shaq every day, calling Shaq out when he's,
when he's not doing what he's supposed to do.
When Shaq calls you out, can you handle it? You know, all that stuff plays a part. And then having Phil Jackson as well.
Right.
So I think like I said, it could have happened. For sure.
I think Phil, not to say Phil doesn't know, but I think Phil does a great job of managing egos.
Yes.
I think that's his greatest thing, is that when you got Jordan, but I don't think Jordan had a rival. Jordan didn't have an equal in Chicago, so it was easy. I mean, Pippen might say that I was just as good as Jordan, I could have been this and that. That's fine to say now, but Kobe really felt that he was on Shaq's level.
Right.
Shaq really felt that Kobe. So you got these two horses like that, and Phil had to somehow juggle that, T. Lue.
I'll tell you how he did it.
How he did?
Day one, he came in and he went at Kobe and Shaq about everything they had to do to be better for this team to win, and he coached them harder than he coached us. Like, we never really, like, we had film sessions, it was all Kobe and Shaq. It wasn't never Rick Fox, it wasn't never Harper, it wasn't never Horace Grant.
Really?
No, it wasn't. It was always Kobe and Shaq, what y'all need to do, what you need to do, what you didn't do, how you didn't do it. And so he was hard on those guys. That first year, like, every single day, like, on Kobe and Shaq, on Kobe and Shaq. And so if you get your top two players and your best players to buy in,
yes,
what are we going to do?
Right. You got no choice.
Yeah, got no choice. And that's how he did it. And that's how he led. And so it just made it easy. Like, D-Fish and those guys, they didn't have to worry about nothing. It was Kobe and Shaq.
It's funny that you say that, because I want to transition. I want to ask you, how? Because in football, coaches yell and scream at the best player, so that's some horse, bull jive. But it seems like in basketball, man, y'all be tiptoeing around the superstars. Y'all don't be saying like in football. But you said Phil challenged Kobe, challenged Shaq. How delicate of a line must you walk when you dealing with that level of player? Back
then, you didn't have to worry about it as much, but then that was Phil Jackson.
Right.
So he comes in with instant credibility. You know,
he got 6 championships.
He already won 6 championships. We just got swept in the first round by Utah the year before.
Right.
Like, so we had no choice but to listen, you know. But nowadays it's a fine line because back then the coach had all the power.
Right.
You know, and so you couldn't go to the coach, I want him fired, I want him out. They wasn't doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like back then, like the coach had all the power. And so now it's changed. So if the star player don't like what the coach is saying and you get on the bad side with a star player.
Oh, he get you up out of there.
He can get you out of there. You know, and so that's why it's a fine line because the coach doesn't have the same authority that they had back in those days.
Right.
And so now you got to walk that fine line because, you know, you could do it. You know, you could do it, but and take the chance and take the risk. But I'd rather take the risk than rather, you know, have a guy walk all over me.
Yeah.
I'd rather just take that chance, you know. So it is what it is.
You're like, hey, nah, bro, nah. I mean,
you gonna let them get away with what they get away with at times, but like some stuff you just can't let. You just can't let.
Because the thing is,
you lose the locker room.
There you go. And that's what I tell people all the time. I say, they see it. I say, and then they're going to like, well, if he's doing it, even though they're not the caliber of player that said player is, if you let him skate too much, then all of a sudden, they're going to start coming late. They're going to start missing this. They're going to start doing certain things. And then after a while.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like any company. Like, if you're bringing me in $50 million a year and I'm bringing in 50,000. You're gonna get away with more than I get. I mean, and you should. Like, exactly. So don't worry about. Don't keep a scorecard.
Production and tolerance.
Yeah, don't keep a scorecard on what everybody else is doing.
Right.
Like, you just handle your own business.
Right.
And so in any sport or any business, like the top dogs can get away with more. But like if it's something that's destroying the team or messing up the team, then you got to address those things. But you can't like come late every day. You can't like that's just disrespectful to everybody. You know.
With the Rockets, Thibodeau was on that staff.
Assistant coach. Yeah.
He got let go by the Knicks. And me, from the outside looking in, I'd like to hear what you think. I thought that once they beat the Celtics, because I don't think anybody thought the Knicks was going to go to the NBA Finals.
Exactly.
But when they beat the Celtics, now the expectations go way to here.
Right.
And then you lose to Indiana.
Right.
And then he gets fired. Is that how you see it? How do you see it?
Should he have been fired?
Yeah.
Hell no. I mean, it's the first time you've been to the conference finals in 25 years.
Wow.
25 years.
Yes.
And so the city was on fire.
Yes.
The fans were on fire.
Yes.
The players did a hell of a job. And Tibbs did a hell of a job.
Yeah.
And so to take a team the first they've been in 25 years and then get fired, like, it just don't make sense.
Right.
You know, and so for me, like I said, I thought Tibbs did a great job.
I did
but
too.
you never know the inside of you know what's going on with the organization.
Right.
But I mean, everywhere he's been, he wins. Everywhere. Chicago, Minnesota, Knicks, every team he's been on, they've gotten better. You know, and so to do that, I thought it was crazy.
Yeah, because the expectations now. Because when you beat the Celtics,
but what's the expectations now?
What expect the championship? I don't think when they went into the playoffs started and you see the seeding, I don't think anybody thought the Knicks was going to be in the Eastern Conference Final. Because you see the matchup, they're not beating Boston.
Right. So if they lose to Boston, he keeps his job.
I believe so.
Right.
I believe so. But because they beat Boston, and so they beat Boston, the Cleveland's out of the way. Well, we smooth sailing. And then Indiana gets you. And they say, no, we can't.
But Indiana was playing great ball.
Indiana,
they had a great team. And Rick Carlisle did a hell of a job.
Yes.
And who knows what happens in Game 7 if Tyrese don't get hurt.
Right.
So, like, you know what I mean? So everybody Indiana beat, you want to fire their coach? Like, it don't make sense. You know, and so
I agree. I agree.
And
I was surprised that happened.
Yeah. And I think, like you said, Tibbs did a extraordinary job, and then to get that team there. But like now, when you come in looking at it, okay, we go to the conference finals, and now what's the next coach supposed to do? Like Mike Brown, who's a hell of a coach.
Yeah.
So now if you don't make the Eastern Conference Finals,
yeah,
you know, it's like it's just tough. It's kind of like the situation I was put in Cleveland.
Yes.
Like we made the finals, you know, with Coach Blatt, and now you bring me in midway through the season. If we don't make the finals and go to Game 6, then I'm gonna fail you. You know, that's a tough spot to be in.
It is.
You know,
it absolutely is.
It's crazy.
But the knock is always on Tibbs, is that he grinds his players. He got them playing 40-plus minutes in the regular season. And when you play that many minutes, at some point in time, you grind them down. I mean, I'm looking at Mikal Bridges playing 45 minutes. I'm looking at Brunson playing 43 minutes. I'm looking at OG playing all those minutes. And then...
whatever it takes.
Not in the regular
win.
season, T-Lo.
Man, listen, you do whatever it takes to win. You got to get there. Like, no, I'm saying, like, I mean, what you want? I mean, you don't want guys to practice,
Right.
and now you don't want guys to play. Like, they already get games off, but you don't want them to play minutes either. Like, I mean, I don't know.
What's a practice? So give me a practice. Okay, when you got to the league, your practice compared to the practice that you run now.
Okay, so when I first got to the league, you play a game.
Yeah.
The next day, you got an hour and a half, 2 hour practice taped. You're live. Contact, body on body, getting better every single day. Now, game, practice the next day is going to be a walkthrough. You ain't going to have no contact. Guys are not going to go full speed. You probably got 30 to 40 minutes because, we just had a game last night. What's that? What does that mean?
Damn.
So they don't, no practicing. So, I mean, it's a big difference. It's a huge difference, you know.
But the thing is, think about it, T. Lue. The way you guys did it, and you played the many games you played, and the way you practiced, you guys had less injuries back then than you do now.
You had to train your body. I think you had to train your body for that. But the thing now the guys my age, we can't walk. We're paying for it now, you know, in our older age, you know. But back then, like, I think you got to train your body, like you said, to get to that point.
To withstand that.
And if you go into the finals, like extra 2 months of the season, like, you got to train your body. And I think it's no better way than playing games, playing minutes, and getting in game shape. Right. You know, like, and when I was coming up, guys wanted to play more minutes. Like, you always cried about playing more minutes, you know. So now guys are crying about playing too many minutes, you know. So, I mean, it's a fine line. You can't run guys into the ground, you know. But if you're not practicing and all we got is getting his games from you, like, we need 45 tonight. We need 45 tonight. Like, you know what I'm saying?
We need whatever it takes
to win.
Right.
You know.
Dirk, you played with Dirk. What was Dirk like?
A quiet assassin, a quiet leader. He did a great job of just, you know, giving everybody confidence and bringing everybody along. Like, he was happy for other guys' success. You know, like Jason Terry and, you know, when guys played, like, he was happy for that. Like, he wasn't a guy that demanded the ball, like, man, get me the ball, I got to have shots.
Right.
None of that. And you look up and, like, damn, he's 6th or 7th all-time in scoring in NBA history. Like, I would have never thought that. You know, since coming out in the draft together, and then having a chance to play those two and a half months with Dirk, like, just like all great players, worker, first one in the gym, last one to leave, working on his body, working on his game, and what he's able to do, man, like, I would never saw that coming.
Really?
No, never. I would never saw that coming. But then having a chance to play with him and just seeing how he worked and the work he put in, like, he was an ultra talent.
That one-legged step back.
Oh, unstoppable. Unstoppable. Comparable to Kareem's hook.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now you see how many guys you see shoot that one-leg step back.
KD and all, can't stop it.
When you can make a case that the most impressive championship ever won is Dirk's. You look at who he beat.
Yeah.
They swept Kobe.
Yeah.
And they had just come off back-to-back.
Yep.
They went through a young Thunder team, and then what they did to the Big Three Heat.
Yeah.
With
Dirk.
Sitting back, you're watching that. Did you think that Dallas could beat the Heat?
I didn't think they had a chance. But like I said, that zone that they had was, you know, it was really hard to figure out. Defensively, they were really good. And then just they all clicked. They all clicked in the way they played, the style they played was like Jason Terry, you know, what he did. Then Dirk, and J. Kidd, you know. I think it was Sean Marion, right?
Yep.
Sean Marion, you know. So the roles those guys played and, you know, they bought into their roles. They were starring their roles. Like, they just had a complete team that knew how to – remind me a lot of Detroit Pistons.
Yeah,
when
that
they
team
won.
to beat the Lakers,
Same thing, you know, except they didn't have a star like Dirk, but, like, they all just fit together. They all play their role, and they had really good pieces.
You were on that 09 team, the Magic team, that and you guys lost. Did you talk to Kobe before or after the
Yeah, I talked to him. Yeah, I talked to him, and we're talking stuff back and forth like all the time. Like he just, he's a competitor.
Yeah.
He always talking shit. But he was he was locked in. He was locked in. He really wanted that one bad.
Yeah.
He really wanted that one bad.
Because that was the one that was.
Yeah.
Well, that was the one that was going to tie him with Shaq at 4.
Yeah. And he wanted that one bad. And you could just see when he got that one, man, he was a different person.
Yeah.
And but that Orlando team,
you had Dwight Howard was on that team.
Yeah.
How good? Talk to us about Dwight, because I think Dwight gets unfairly criticized because he laughing and joking. Everybody doesn't have to have a scowl on their face to get the job done.
Right.
There's a myriad of ways to do a lot of different things, but end up at the end of the day getting the job done.
Yeah. I mean, people want to criticize for anything.
Yes.
So I wouldn't even, look and read into any of that. But he was dominant. He was dominant. And, what I give Dwight credit for is, Stan Van Gundy, who was the coach, he did a hell of a job. And you remember Jameer Nelson, who went down. He went down, and he still was an all-star that year, but Jameer was playing out of this world. Mm-hmm. And he went down, so they brought me over there halfway through the season, but I was done. That was my last year. And then they brought Rafer Alston in, who had a hell of a year and really saved their season.
Right.
But Dwight's dominance, on the defensive end, it was like no other.
Right.
I've never seen a guy to be able to impact and dominate the game defensively, like Dwight was able to do. Rebounding, shot blocking, pick and roll defense. And then what Stan did to take a lot of pressure off him, which was smart, is he didn't feature Dwight in the post, coming down just throwing post ups and putting that pressure on him to score that way. It was more out of pick and rolls. He's rolling, throw it back, Rashard Lewis down the gut, deep seals, finish, or pick and roll, Turkaloo, lobs. And so he was able to finish and get dunks and, seal and be right on it. It wasn't, he didn't have to use skill. Right. I thought it was very smart for a young player. If that was Kwame coming in, we're not going to throw you the ball in the post. Right. We're going to, feature you this kind of way. And he had time to grow. Mm-hmm. It would have helped him out a lot. Right. And that's what Stan did. And like I said, Dwight really, bought into that, bought into being Defensive Player of the Year, bought into, like I said, rolling, sealing, lobs, duck ends, running the floor. And, to take that team to the finals, like I said, Stan Van Gundy, like I said, he did a hell of a job. And but Dwight, like I said, what he's able to do defensively and dominate the game defensively, it was great to see.
Do you believe Dwight Howard should have been a top 75 player?
Yes.
I do too.
Yeah.
They did him wrong, man.
Yeah. No, he should have been. He should have been.
Your coaching crew, the Celtics. You got KG, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, Rondo. I mean, you look at that squad. How? Because now this is really your first foray into being with, I'm talking about great players. KG, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, all of those guys are Hall of Famer. I believe eventually Rondo probably was going to get into the Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. Lou, how do you, because everybody say, man, Lou's a player's coach. A lot of times the guys go talk to you when they didn't talk to the head coach. Mm-hmm. They could talk to you, they could relate. Even though Doc played the game, you played the game, and a lot of players say, I like talking to the coach that actually plays the game. Right. Because he sees it through my lens, I see it through his lens. So how have you been able to be so relatable to players while still holding them accountable?
I think a thing I learned from B. Shaw, from my rookie year, my second year in the league, he taught me, tell the truth. Just seeing him be able to tell Kobe and Shaq the truth. When they mess up, man, no, it was your fault. Don't go blaming Devin George or it was your fault. And B. Shaw did that every single time. And I'm just looking at him, and he's like, man, you just got to be able to tell the truth. Mm-hmm. And so, it took me a long way, because when you tell the great players and the star players, when KG come out of the game, he might be going crazy. Man, I didn't foul him. And, Scalabrine be like, man, you didn't foul him. He like, Lou, you fouled him. And then he might cuss me out or whatever. And then 3 minutes, you right, Lou, give me a dab. You know what I'm saying? But you just got to tell the truth. You know what I'm saying? I think stars and guys that whatever, people respect the truth. Whether they like it at that point or not. If you're real with yourself, 2 days later you come back you know what, Shannon, you was right. I was wrong. You were right. And they can respect that. But when I'm lying to you.
Yes, you do.
If you drop a pass, it was a great pass, and you drop it, and I said, man, that's a bad pass. Like, like, no, he threw that. That shit was right up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, if I'm lying to
Right,
you. Like,
correct.
and you respect honesty.
Right.
And that's kind of like, how I was able to deal with these guys is just telling the truth.
Right. So how was it going from playing with Shaq to coaching Shaq?
The last year in Boston?
Yeah.
It was, I really didn't have a responsibility.
Right.
So, who was, so we had Tibbs my first year doing the defense, then Lawrence Frank. Was Longobardi doing defense then? Maybe. I think Mike Long. So I really didn't have no responsibility. I was still behind the bench. So it was just more so just, him talking stuff all the time. But like I didn't really have a lot of responsibility. I just really dealt with Doc more one-on-one than my projects was I had Rondo and I had KG.
Right.
Two of the craziest guys on the team. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean both are fiery.
Yeah.
Both are, in your face, hey, get it done.
Right.
So how do you navigate that?
Like I said, telling the truth. I think because me, KG, and Chauncey, we were all three best friends.
Right.
So me going to Boston, that was easy. And so he was there before me, and so a lot of stuff he was doing, like guys would be like, okay, well, KG's going to do this, he's going to do that. And so when I first got there, like they would serve food after the game.
Right.
And so it's kind of like really how it opened up for me. Right. So they would serve food after the game. And so they would put the food in the locker room, and the coaches would never eat. So one day I'm hungry as hell. Like so I walk in the locker room and I start fixing me a plate. And then so Paul Pierce and Rondo, KG, T-Lue's getting food. And I was like, what? So I'm getting my
snitching.
Yeah, so I'm getting my food or whatever. So KG come, what? He said, man, T-Lue getting food. He's like, shit, I can't do nothing about that. So he's like, what? So so they going crazy, like, oh man, you let TJ. So then after that, now all the coaches were able to come in and get food. So before the coaches couldn't eat until all the players ate first. Really? I'm like, man, we've been up doing scouts and working at 7 in the morning. Man, you crazy. I'm hungry. Like we doing the same thing. Like, and so like they couldn't touch the food until the players ate first.
Right.
So I'm like, man, hell no, you tripping. So when I did that, like it kind of opened up everything. So guys like, oh man, KG let T. Lue do whatever you want to do. And so then after that, I just had all their respect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. KG, everybody talks about KG trash talking. You see him on his pod now, and then you see him. I mean, you hear some of the clips. He really talk that much?
Yeah, he does. I mean, it's more so to get himself going.
Right.
Like, he wants you to talk back so he can, you ever heard like, don't poke the bear.
Right.
Like he tried to get himself going by talking trash and talking stuff to get himself fired up. But yeah, he was good at it. That's what he wanted to do.
Rondo, can you tell, like for me, I have former teammates that became head coaches. When you're playing with a guy, can you tell he has the qualities, the attributes to be a head coach?
Yes. And it's funny because I didn't know I was going to be a head coach.
Really?
When I played for Doc in 2003, he told me, said, when you get done playing, you can come coach with me. Like, yeah, right. I ain't coaching these crazy. Like, I ain't doing that. But like when it's over, that's all we know.
Right.
Like, that's all I know is basketball.
Right.
And so Rondo's one of those guys. I mean, he's definitely a head coach. Like just seeing, like he's probably the best person I've seen as far as controlling the game, understanding how to call plays.
Right.
When guys haven't had a shot, when KG needs a shot, when Ray needs a shot, what to call, what to run. Like he ain't had to look over a doubt. Like you would be surprised at all the guys that are great players that can't control a game and call plays and throughout the course of a game. But Rondo was the best guy I've seen do that as far as just controlling the whole game. Just calling. Don't even have to look at doubt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just controlling the game, calling the game, and he was the best I ever seen doing that. And so, like when you're able to do that on the floor, you can do it on the sideline.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think Rondo would be a hell of a coach.
But how difficult was that? Because you got a young Rondo, and you got a veteran in KG, you got a veteran in Paul Pierce and Ray Allen, and to see this young guy come in and do that and let Doc have that kind of control.
I mean, it was good because he wasn't looking for shots. Now, if I'm calling my own play and I'm shooting 20, I'm shooting 20 shots a game. But he was just doing it. He wanted to get KG going, get Paul going, get Ray going.
Right.
They had no problem with it.
Right.
Like I don't want coming in shooting all the balls. You know what I'm saying? So it was. I mean, they loved it.
Was it because I hear like the reunion. He and Ray didn't get along. Him and Paul Pierce and KG for the longest time, and I think for the most part, they've kind of made some amends about Ray going to it. So what was Rondo's personality like?
He had a tough personality.
Really?
Like, Rondo fight the drop of a dime. He ain't taking nothing from nobody. Nobody. Like, and he had that mentality. And so my job was to more just talk to him about how to control it.
You got to control it, bro.
How to control it. Like, it's going to be times for it. Like, I'm all for it. Like, somebody got a line, you got to scrap, you just got to scrap.
Right.
I believe in that, but it can't be controversy all the time.
Right.
And so you got to be able to control it and be able to manage it. And, at times it's going to be called for, but sometimes it's not going to be called for.
Right.
And so you just got to be able to be able to manage that. And so, but he's a feisty guy, hates to lose, wants to win. And if he don't win, like I said, he's ready to scrap. You know what I'm saying?
Are you surprised that he's not in the league? Because I thought he played extremely well. The Lakers in the bubble. The years he played with the Lakers, I thought he was phenomenal.
Yeah. How old is he now, though?
He might be a little long. It might be.
Yeah.
He got to be
39.
39.
Oh yeah, yeah. If guys could do it, he could be one of the guys that do it.
Because he seemed like he take care of himself.
Take care of his body, control the game without having to get shots.
Right.
From that aspect, it reminds you a lot of CP.
Right.
Like being able to just control the game and get guys quality shots every single possession. He's that guy.
But you look at, you wouldn't think, but he has a game where he dropped 40. He's had 24, 25, 27 assists in a game.
Yeah.
It's not like he was like people think, oh, he's just an assist guy. No. He could score. He could score.
No, he could score the ball. And so, but like you said, just being able to read the game and understand how you're going to get on the floor.
Right.
Like, does he really need to score when you got Ray, Paul, and KG out there?
Right.
And so he picked and he picked and
chose his
choose.
spot.
Yeah, when he wanted to score and be aggressive. But I remember like playoff game against Miami having 40.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
he could score the basketball. So Rondo was a great player, man. Like he don't get enough credit for who he really was.
I agree. Paul Pierce, it went viral for saying he's the best pure scorer. Name come to mind is like maybe Kobe, maybe James Harden, Jordan, KD.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that P.
He was a hell of a scorer.
Yeah.
And P was my guy. He's my guy.
Right.
We came out in the draft together in '98. On the lockout year, we worked out together, Inglewood High School, every single day. Like, that's my guy. But he said some crazy stuff sometimes, But no, I'll take away, like I always say, just because Bron's great don't mean KD isn't great.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and P. Pierce was a great scorer.
Right.
Like, footwork, post, on the elbows, catch and shoot threes, he could do it all. So he's not lying about that. So he gets a lot of, but he could definitely score. But like you said, when you, say KD and Kobe and Jordan.
George.
I got to the free throw line more than him. So but I love it. That's why he is who he is, because the confidence he has.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why he is who he is. So
what was it? Because I remember the last time LeBron was in Cleveland, you guys beat him, and he had a monster game. I think he had 27, 19, and 12. That game 6, y'all ended up beating before he went to Miami. Prior to that, prior to you guys getting KG and Ray Allen, it was more. I think he beat you guys a little bit more than you guys beat him. But when he goes to Miami, and that year, y'all got him, and I remember KG say it's over. Y'all beat him in game 5 in Miami.
Was up 3-2.
You up 3-2. KG say it's over. We ain't coming back down here. And then LeBron in game 6.
45.
Everybody says that's the greatest game he's ever played. Did you get a sense? How early in the game did you know, boy, we in for it?
I knew. I started looking in his eyes, when he first stood on the floor, and just his mentality to start the game, how aggressive he was.
Yeah.
And we were always scared, and Doc was always scared to like trap and double team him because of his passing ability. And so he figured that I figured it's like he's going to get everybody else involved. Now everybody's going to get going.
Right.
He's going to get his anyway.
Right.
But we didn't think he was going to get 45.
Right.
And like that game, when he's able to do that game, like I said, that's what really took him to the next level.
Right.
Like 45, go to Miami game 7, win game 7, and then, to move on. Like, but that game was, oh man. I still have nightmares about that game.
Was Miami Heat LeBron, that's the best LeBron we've ever seen?
I don't know. I mean,
I think 2018, bro.
the year we went to the finals when Kyrie was gone.
Kyrie was gone.
Yeah.
The way he put, and y'all go to Boston in that game 7.
Yeah.
And y'all beat Toronto. Y'all beat Indiana.
Yeah.
And he had like 8 40-point games in the playoffs. He had that 51 against Golden State.
Yeah.
He was just in Miami. He was extremely efficient.
Yeah.
You talk about somebody shooting 55, 56%,
57% from the field.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, he was super efficient in Miami, but I didn't get a chance to watch it like I wanted to.
Right.
Of course, you can't see every game, but what he did in Cleveland,
you get him back, he comes back.
Yeah, that stretch he had in Cleveland, I think that was his best.
So you think the return to Cleveland might have been his best LeBron?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I can't say I disagree.
Yeah, the year 16, the 16-17 season, we went back to the final. We played against KD for the first time.
Yeah,
like that season right there, I think was one of the best seasons, like you said, they's ever had. And then I can't remember what that playoffs was. The playoff run he had that might have been the best playoff run.
That 18.
That was 18?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we had 8 here. I think he had 8 40-point games.
Yeah.
And your guys y'all swept Toronto, who was the number 1 seed at the time.
Yeah.
And then you go on the road in game 7.
In Boston, he played all 48 minutes.
Yeah.
That period, that 15 to 18, I think that might have been his best basketball he ever played.
People always, and you get this a lot, and I'm sure you've heard it. He wouldn't have done that if he played in the 90s. He wouldn't have done that if he played in the 80s. He couldn't have played back then.
Right.
The dude got Karl Malone's body. He can handle the ball like magic. He got Karl Malone's body, and he's more athletic. Who's had that kind of athleticism that can do all the things that he can do?
I played in the 90s. I wasn't sure. So you're going to say LeBron James couldn't play in the 90s? Like, come on, man. Like,
I played a lot of it. I wasn't.
Yeah. What are we talking about? Like, that don't even make sense. Like, if you're great, I don't care what era you play in, you're going to be great.
Right.
And it is what it is.
Coaching the Clippers. So you're at the Clippers. No, I want to go to this. I'm going to talk about the Cavaliers situation. Because when David Blatt, you were in line to get the job. You were supposed to get the job, right?
Yeah, we interviewed the same time for the job.
Right.
And my agent called me and was like, Dan Gilbert decided that he wanted to go with, David Blatt. But I got a crazy thing to tell you. They want you to be the associate head coach. And I was like, nah, like I'm cool. Like, no, I'm stay here with Doc. Because I figured if I'm with Doc, who's the best coach in the league, like I'm gonna get a job next year. I mean, it's coming, so I'm not gonna leave Doc. I'm gonna be loyal to Doc. And he said, but you wouldn't believe how much money he offered you. And I was like, well, what they offer? Say they want to offer you $1 million a year to be the associate head coach. Now at the time I'm making $375 with the Clippers. I think
I could do that.
Well, nah, I still said no.
You said no?
Yeah, I was like, nah.
Even in California?
Yeah, I was like,
because
nah.
that's 155.
Yeah. And so I was like, man, like, nah, I ain't doing it. I'm gonna stay with Doc.
Right.
I was like, you sure? I was like, yeah, I can't do it. So he came back an hour later, they said they give you 1-2, 1-4, whatever. And I was like, nah, man, like I'm gonna stay with Doc. I ain't gonna do that. Like I'm gonna be loyal to Doc. So I called, B. Shaw. I was like, B. Shaw, man. He said, what? You gotta take that job. I said, man, I ain't doing it. And then so I called Jerry West, who's my mentor.
Right. And
Jerry like, what are you thinking? If you don't take this job, they'll never give you another job ever again. Think you can't leave Doc's umbrella, whatever. So I was like, man, I'm not doing it. And so he's like going crazy. So my agent called back again. He said, they said, well, what do you want? I said, man, just tell them $2 million, 222, whatever. He called me back, they said yes.
You like, damn, I should have said 2.5.
Yeah. So I was like, shit, all right, I gotta go.
Hey, Doc.
Yeah, so I called Doc, and Doc was like, you know what, Ty, like, it's gonna be hard for us to match that. He said, but I think you're ready to like leave my umbrella and spread your wings and do your own thing. I think it'd be good for you. And I was like, you sure? He's like, man, I think it'd be really good for you. And so that's kind of how it happened, how I ended up going to Cleveland.
So now, okay, you on the bench that first year, y'all go to the NBA Finals, you lose to the Golden State Warriors in 6. Halfway through the season, they make a change. Mm-hmm. You get elevated. Now, being a head coach is one thing. When you're the head coach, and now you're coaching the best player in the NBA, that's something entirely different, T. Lue.
Yeah, it is.
You and LeBron, what type of relationship did you have with LeBron before you became head coach?
So I had a relationship with Bron, Rich, and Mav, Randy before I even came to be the assistant. Like, we always been cool and tight. So, like, we always had that bond.
Okay.
And so when I became the associate head coach, like I said, he came back.
Okay.
You know, so we already had that bond. And so, which was cool. Like I said, I had Rich and Mav behind me 100%.
Right.
And then Randy. So even Bron get mad, I had those, you know, I had them behind me anyway, you know. But that's kind of like, you know, like that's family. Like that's
Right.
family. So, you know, when I took over, like I said, I was scared because, you know, anybody can say, I would have did this, I'd have done that, you know, like especially all that social media shit. Yeah, you can say all that until you're in that number one seat.
And now you got to, okay, let's see what you do. You
Yeah.
said you go do that.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and so moving over 6 inches, you know, it's tough. And like, especially midway through the season.
Yes.
And so I just thought it was a lot of pressure, man. Just like, we just went to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
Game 6, we lose. No Kevin Love, no Kyrie. And now you want me to replace Coach Black, who done a hell of a job. And if we don't make it to the finals and make it to at least Game 7, like, I'm a failure.
Right.
You know, and so it was scary. And I didn't really know if I could do it because, like, you coming through halfway through the season.
Right.
You haven't really had a training camp. You haven't implemented what you wanted to run.
What you want to do, because you got to stick to what.
And then, like I said, and you got the best player in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then so it was tough, you know. But like I said, I will give a lot of credit, you know, to K-Love, Kyrie, Bron, JR, Tristan, like those guys. Like they said, listen, we got your back 100%. Like, whatever you want to do, you know, let's do it. We got your back. And I said, I'm going to make some mistakes. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to make some mistakes, but we all got to stick together.
Right.
And I give those guys credit. Like, they have my back 100%.
But the natural thing is like, man, T. Lue undermined David Blatt. He was just, you know, he was supposed to be there anyway, and he probably was doing X, Y, and Z. Did you hear that?
All the time. And that's why it was hard for me to want to take that job, because I knew what it was going to look like from the outside looking in. And if they knew the truth about it the year before, they would have never said that.
Right.
You know, and so my job as associate head coach is to do whatever I can to make the head coach's job easier. You know, and so I did that to the best of my ability. And, you know, I would never undermine somebody for a job, you know, because that's just not who I am. That's not my personality. And I believe it will come back on you if you do things like that.
So what was it about Coach Black? Was his message just not resonating? What was it? Because he did go to the NBA Finals. Y'all did make it to a Game 6, minus Kevin Love, minus Kyrie. I believe if you have those guys, we'll never, ever know. I believe you win the series.
I do too.
But we'll never know. Right. And then halfway through the season, it wasn't like y'all was in the 6th spot, T. Lue.
It was number 1 spot.
And they fired the coach. That's never been, well, maybe I think Milwaukee did something similar a couple of years ago with Adrian Griffin. But I'm just saying, I don't recall a situation of something like that happening. Was his message just not getting through? Was it just falling on deaf ears? Somebody go upstairs? Why would you make you're the number one seed, and you change the head coach after you just went to the finals?
You know, for me, I think he did a great job. And overseas, like, when you coach overseas, you are the face of the team. Right. Like, it's what you say goes, no matter what. No matter what player's there, you're the face of the team. And when you come to the NBA, the players are the face of the team. And so it's a different dynamic. Mm-hmm. And so just understand that dynamic, that, you know, as much as you want to go in and go crazy and cuss somebody out, you might can't do it today. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? You just can't. And like, his offensive system, like, was great. Like, I wish I could run it today. Like, all the stuff he did, but like, it didn't fit with Bron. Like, Bron's not gonna move like that. Kyrie want to dance. He ain't running around. Kevin Love's not a mover, you know. And so it was just the offense they ran over there was different when he came over here. Now, he's been successful over there, winning all the championships, and he's a great coach. And I thought it was great stuff that we were doing, but it just didn't fit our team and what we're trying to do. You know, and so I think guys got frustrated with the process and got frustrated with, you know, how we did things, like offensively and defensively, because some of the stuff was different. Right. But there's nothing wrong with change if it works, and it was working. But it just, you know, I think a lot of people got frustrated and didn't take the time, have the patience to really kind of wait for it. And that's kind of like where things got harder, you know. So that was it.
Do you remember your first game getting booed? Who y'all first? Do you remember who y'all played first? Played the Bulls.
Bulls, and we played them in Cleveland.
Y'all lost.
And they booed me? Oh, I don't even remember. Did they boo me, man? Yeah, I don't remember. I mean, like I said, I got tough skin. So if I mess up, I mess up. Like, I deserve to get booed. I deserve to get criticized.
Y'all lost 96 to 83.
Okay.
But, do you understand what you did? They fired the coach mid-season. Mm-hmm. You get that team, not only did you get them to the NBA Finals, you orchestrated the greatest comeback in finals history, down 3-1 to a guy he was the first guy to be a unanimous MVP, and 2 of the last 3 games were on the road. How do you lie to them? You got to lie. Sometimes coaches tell us all the time, sometimes guys, they got to lie to you. How do you lie to them and tell them they really got a chance to win this?
You know what's crazy is that I swear to God, I thought that we can win. Like, even when we were down 3-1, I thought that we could win. What?
You had just lost. You had just went down 3-1 at your home court, T. Lue.
But I'm saying we lost the 2 games we lost first, we got blown out.
Yeah.
We win game 3.
Yes.
We should have won game 4. We tricked it off the last 2 minutes of the game.
Right.
Right? So we go down 3-1. And I'm like, we still have opportunity to win this. Like, we still can win. I really believed it. But we had to make some tweaks, and we made some adjustments. And like I said, I give our guys credit for doing that. But what's funny, like, getting to that point, every time we lost a game, I never showed film. And so David Griffin would go back to our video guy, DV. He was like, man, what the hell is he doing? Like, why? He said, listen, just trust him. He know what he's doing. Right. Like, just trust him. Right. Like, if he's doing it, I believe in it.
Right.
So, like, because after game 1, or even in the finals before, like, if we show film and, like, they was blowing us out. Like, right. It was like, you don't want mentally, you don't want that, you don't want.
We can't beat these guys.
Exactly. So you don't want the guys seeing that. So we come in, have a fun day, shooting half-court shots, tweak some stuff here and there. And then when we win, that's when we be in long film sessions of all the stuff we're making mistakes on and, like, what we got to clean up to be better. And it worked because you don't want to psych your guys out thinking, like, man, like, how can we beat them?
Right.
And so every time we lost, I never showed film. When we won, I showed all the stuff we needed to get better at. And we just had to make some tweaks defensively, and we made those tweaks. Like I said, I give JR, Shump, and all those guys credit for what we was able to do to change our strategy, because if you play Golden State the way they play, their pace and how fast they play, you don't know until you're in it.
Right.
You can't go to practice and work on stuff.
You can't replicate that.
Can't do it. And so I saw that when you switching everything, they're going to pick you apart.
Right.
Like Draymond with his passing, Steph and Clay with their movement, like, you just can't switch everything. And so after game 4, I was like, listen, when Steph and Clay come together, splits and all that, we switching it. Anybody else, you stand locked in. So it won't be no confusion. If we make a mistake, we're going to make a mistake on, the other guys. Yeah. We ain't going to make a mistake on these guys. And so it worked. Like, JR and Shump locked in Steph and Clay. Like, if you guard Iguodala, Livingston, you pushing up, you just protecting, and, like, it changed our whole series. Like, it changed it. And then the performance that Bron and Kyrie had in game
6.
No.
Game 5. They
Game
both
5.
scored 41.
Yeah. And in the game 5, and, like, going home for game 6, like, I thought we warmed down. And then game 7, you got the best player in the world going into game 7. You got to love your chances.
Right.
So that's, kind of what happened.
Was it ever a situation that you had, like, because it's hard because you got a LeBron, man, or any great player to, like, bro, I need more from you. You got to give me more.
Yeah, halftime of game 7. Yeah, halftime of game 7. We come in the locker room and, like, they said, we're going to show a film. I said, no, ain't no film. Like, so I came and said, Bron, what you going to do, man? I said, what you mean? So you got to do more. Like, you got to be better. Like, what you want me to do, T. Lue? I'm like, because he had 20 points and might have had 7 assists. But he left a lot on the table to me.
Right.
And this is game 7. You're the best player in the world. I was like, we need, what you want me? I said, you got to guard Draymond better, score the basketball, stop turning over, be aggressive. Anything else you want me to say? So he maddened him up, right? So I go in the office, I slam the door. So later, after we, it was over, Damon Jones said, Bron came to him like, man, can you believe T. Lue, man, called me out like that? That's some bull. Whatever. D. Jones said, well, I ain't been here all year, but everything I read and you called and told me, you trust him. Why not trust him now? He's like, F you. So he go to James Jones. James Jones, can you believe T. Lue? Man, I can't believe it. James Jones said, did he lie? So then Bron snatches Steph out of the locker, storm out. And shit, that's all she wrote. I mean, JR, but people understand, JR scored the first seven points.
He
started
did.
that third quarter.
He did.
And then after that, because we was down 7. So JR scored 7 straight. And then after that, man, Bron, what he did after that was all she wrote.
The chase down and then Kyrie's 3-point shot. I don't know because you guys had gone like 3 minutes, T. Lue, and nobody could score.
I know.
It was like somebody put a lid on the basket.
Yeah.
Everybody was bricking, airballing. You could feel that it was tightening.
Yeah.
Everybody felt, I don't care what anybody says, everybody felt it.
Yeah.
Do you feel that if Iguodala had laid that ball up, that was going to be the momentum that they needed to win the game? Or you felt you guys, even if they had broke the score, because you guys scored first.
Yeah, I mean, no, they scored first.
The guy, it was tied.
Yeah, it was tied.
He blocked it.
Yeah,
and then
we called
Kyrie,
timeout.
And then Kyrie started to dance.
Right, and so we called timeout. And the thing about Bron was exhausted. And so we get to the bench. I mean, he's done. So I'm like, shit. Kai, it's time to dance. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, we want to run pick and roll, you know what I'm saying? Because Clay was a great defender.
Right.
And like I said, Steph, to where he's at now defensive wise, like he took a huge step, and take pride in guarding, now. And so they had no weak links.
Right.
You didn't want Draymond. You didn't want Iguodala. You didn't want Clay. So I was like, well, we got to try to get Steph into action.
Right.
So, we run a pick and roll. Kyrie gets a switch. I ain't know going to shoot a 3. You know what I'm saying? I ain't know going to shoot a 3. And so he gets
that's his shot, though.
Yeah.
That sidestep 3, that's his shot.
So he gets to that right wing, he's dancing, and he shoots it. And from that point on, I was just blacked out. I'm saying, once he made that shot, I blacked out. I remember K-Love, guarded Steph. Yeah.
Sitting in the chair on Steph.
Yeah, guarded Steph. And I remember it was at the end of the game, we were up 4. Yeah, Bron gets fouled. We up 4. And it was 2 things that we worked on. They ran 2 need 3 plays for shots.
Right.
And so the whole series, before we got to the series, leading up to it, and the series, I was like, listen, we're going to work on these ATOs, but on their need 3 plays, guys are going to be in different positions. So every day we worked on their need 3 plays. I said, it's going to come a time we're going to need it. So Kyrie and, man, we doing this again. Because all the games were blowouts.
Right.
There wasn't no close games till game 7.
Right.
And so we never had to use it. And so we worked on it every day. On this play, Kyrie, you guarding this guy. Tristan, you guarding this guy. Bron, you here. On this play, when they do it, now you guarding over here. So we had guys in different spots.
Right.
So when Draymond goes to take the ball out of bounds, you see him, he's like, man, what the? Because the matchup was crazy, but we knew how we wanted to switch.
Right.
We got a deflection. So the ball goes out of bounds. So they call the second play they run ATO-wise for need 3, and guys go to different matchups. And Draymond's like, man, what the? It messed them. So then we win the game. So the next day, I was like, see, that's why I've been working. He said, man, no, you was right. And we worked on it for 8 days before the series started.
Right.
And then every day we worked on the need 3, and they talked trash to me. Oh, man, we ain't going to never use this. This is stupid. And then end of the game, we needed it.
How are you able to earn the players' trust in Cleveland so quickly?
I would say being around the players I coach and play with. I think that's one. I think winning, was something. And then I think just having a relationship with Bron. I think having a relationship with Bron really set the tone for everybody else. And I had a relationship with JR, when he first came in the league. He used to come work out with us in Vegas. And so I knew JR. But the other guys I didn't know, like you said. But having Bron's respect and having a friendship with Bron, that really helped me earn the respect of everybody else in the locker room.
You're the first coach in NBA history to win his first 10 postseason games. Did you know that?
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to be broken.
Somebody almost broke it recently.
They did?
Almost. Yeah,
when you good, they got to start over again.
Somebody almost broke it first year. I can't remember who it was. Was it? Let me see. Was it Missoula? Did they go?
Yeah, you might be right.
Yeah, I think he broke it. The guy close or tied or something. I don't know. I mean, it was right there. I know that happened.
I read a story that is this true about the money that you put up in the ceiling?
Yeah.
Or you made that up?
No, it's true.
You knew that you knew after winning Game 5 that you guys were coming back for Game 7.
Yeah.
Because you didn't feel there was no way they could beat you in Game 6 in your building.
I didn't think so. And so after Game 5, our owners and front office people, they all in the locker room, everybody's going crazy, we hype, whatever. So I walk in the locker room, I said, all right, everybody give me $200. It's like, what? I was like, everybody give me $200. I'm going to put it in the ceiling, and we coming back for game 7 and get our money. And so everybody, oh, yeah, they going crazy. So everybody gives 200. The owner, Dan Gilbert, Nate Forbes, they all give money, put it up in the ceiling. But I had got it from Doc, because Doc did it. We played the Lakers in L.A.
Right.
Christmas Day, and they blew us out.
Right.
And Doc said, listen, y'all remember this. Remember how it feels, because we're going to play them in the NBA Finals, and we come back to get our money. And we hid it in the attic, in the ceiling. Right. Came back, and it was there. And Doc passed the money out. The only difference with me, I kept it. Come on, T-Lue. Hey, and I'm going to tell you how crazy Bron is, how tight he is. So we win the championship. We just won. Man, they in the locker room. They spraying champagne. Bron like, man, where that 200 at? I'm like, come on, man. We just won. You won by 2. I said, man, I think this ball boy stole it. It ain't in there no more. You know what I'm saying? So I kept that. Yeah, I deserved it.
Man, come on, bro. 200.
He wanted it. He wanted it back. I wasn't giving it back, though.
There have been whispers about LeBron possibly returning to Cleveland. Do you think he's going to return to Cleveland? Before you answer that, are you surprised? This is the first time in LeBron's career LeBron James is on an expiring contract.
I'm surprised by that. I mean, look, this is a player that, he
gave you 24, 8, and 7 last year.
And he's changed the game. He's made it to where these guys are able to go to whatever teams they want to go.
Yes.
And like you said, build their careers and do, he was the one to take that first step.
Yes.
And so
he took all the heat.
To get to this point where now you see everybody's doing it. And he paved that way.
Yes.
And so I think if he's on an expiring contract, I think it's something that he wants. I don't think that, the Lakers said, we're only going to give you, finish this year out and that's it. I think if he's on a 1-year contract, that's where he wants to be. Going back to Cleveland, I don't know.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
I don't. I don't. I don't know. You went to L.A. You've done everything you can do in Cleveland.
Right.
I think you finish it up in L.A. I don't know how much longer they want him in L.A., but I think the thing is he finishes up in L.A. I don't think he's done after this year.
No.
I don't think he's done.
No.
I don't. And the thing is, T-Lue, I was talking to somebody the other day. I said, if you play 24, you might as well go and get that 25.
Yeah, he's not done after this year for sure.
But I think he wants to set that record out there. He wants to set that record out there. Ain't nobody gonna get it.
They can't catch it.
Because KD, he thinks KD is the closest, but KD is 10,000 points away. That's 10,000. So if you average, that's another 7, 8 years. That's right now.
Yeah.
LeBron plays another 2-3 years. That thing gonna be at 45,000 points.
Yeah. It's gonna be hard to catch that. I don't see nobody.
Because you have to play a lot. You have to have sustained greatness. Because nobody thought Kareem stay healthy.
And health.
Because nobody thought Kareem record would be broken because, first of all, only bigs played that long.
Exactly. Longevity.
And then you could play that long if you were big because guess what? You go down to the block, they dump it down to you.
Right.
You ain't trying to get up and down the court like that.
But you're averaging 8, 9, 10 points.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you get that old as a big.
Yeah.
Think of all our great bigs when they played, past their prime.
Yeah.
They only average 8, 9, 10 points.
Yeah.
Bron averaging 25.
Yeah.
So, I think he's going to put it out of reach where it's going to be hard to get there.
But he was working at I saw that, he posted a video, he was working at the Clippers facilities.
Yeah, I know. I seen that. Yeah, I saw that.
What that mean?
I don't even know if I can speak on that.
You gave him the key?
Nope. He's working out at our old practice facility. The one that we had in Playa. So put that out there. The one in Playa.
Not the new one?
Yeah, he went at our facility. You know what I'm saying? I can't say nothing about that.
Had LeBron and Kyrie stayed together, they won another championship?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I think, also think if KD doesn't go to Golden State.
Oh, yeah, but they had to get him.
Yeah.
They had to get him. They were never going to beat you guys again, T-Lue.
Yeah. If KD doesn't go to Golden State, I think we win.
3 in a row.
And I think Kyrie stays because you can't leave after that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so I think he stays, and I think, like I said, we had a chance to win 2 or 3.
Is there anything you could have done differently to maybe keep Kyrie and LeBron together, or has Kyrie made his mind up that he wanted to go elsewhere?
He had made his mind up, but that's like another Kobe and Shaq situation. I would never let it happen.
Right.
Like, and I begged and pleaded. You know, Kobe.
LeBron said he begged
He
and pleaded,
did
said, hey, don't trade him. He still got a year on his contract. Don't trade him.
Bron was doing an autograph signing
Right.
with jerseys and stuff for his foundation. So I come sit next to Bron. We sitting there, hands on the phone, Sports Center. Kyrie Irving's just been traded to the Boston Celtics. Man, Bron dropped the marker, and just lays back in his chair for about 10 minutes. Doesn't say a word, like just pissed off. And Bron was crushed. And I saw when that happened, I thought things would I thought Bron would do something different, you know, sooner than later, and that's what he did.
So you believe LeBron would have stayed in Cleveland had Kyrie stayed in Cleveland?
Yes, I think so.
Damn. I mean, you've seen breakups. You were there. I mean, you weren't there at the time, but Kobe and Shaq. You saw Blake and CP3. You saw LeBron and Kyrie. If somebody would have told you in the beginning how well it was working, that this was going to be the ultimate outcome, would you have believed it?
As far as what?
Them parting ways.
All those guys?
Yeah.
No. I mean, I couldn't see it, you know, the way it happened, you know, especially like say Kobe and Shaq being in it every single day,
Right.
being in the locker room. Like, because it had too many great guys around them. Like, you had a lot of great buffers, you know, like Rick Fox, Robert Horry, B. Shaw, Harp, like, they were old enough to like understand like what was at stake.
Yes.
And understand like
We got something special here.
Yeah, something special. And so they would never let it come to where it came to, you know. So that was tough. And then I think Kyrie, his biggest thing is like, cause he's a competitor.
Yeah.
He's a killer. Like, and so he wanted to show, kind of like Kobe did.
Yep.
You know, when Shaq.
Because that's his mentor.
I can win, you know, without Bron, and
Mm-hmm.
for me to take that next step, this is what I got to do. And so to have his own team and to do that, like that was his goal, and that's what he wanted to do.
Right.
So I don't think it was no ill will against Bron.
Right.
It was just something he wanted to do for his career.
Right. KD, he starts out in OKC, goes to Golden State, wins 2 or 3, goes to Brooklyn, leaves Brooklyn, goes to Phoenix. Now he's in Houston. How different are we looking at KD if he doesn't go to the Warriors?
As far as if he won or not,
Yeah.
I mean, I think the only difference would be if he won in OKC, in which they could have easily done that too.
Right.
You know, so I mean, I wouldn't look at him different. You know, I think a lot of great players, like they think, you know, you have to win a championship to be, you know, to be on this tier or whatever.
Well, it's
and it's
us.
not fair.
It's us now.
Yeah,
The media, we've done that.
Yeah, and it's
because
not,
we say you're bum. We say you're not any good. We don't say you're bum, but we say you're not any good. Or they put who's the greatest NBA player that's never won a championship.
Yeah.
So rings are everything now.
Yeah.
We'll take a guy that's averaging 10 points and put him above somebody
Yeah.
that's historically great because he has a ring.
And KD's one of the best players of all time.
All time.
Yeah, so like it just you know, everybody doesn't win, you know, so
And they shouldn't.
yeah, exactly.
No. What's the value of a championship if every great player won it?
But, you know, if he goes to Golden State and win, he went to Golden State. Well, what you want him to do?
Right.
If he don't win, you're gonna say he didn't win.
Criticize him, y'all still do
and
it.
If he goes and wins, it's criticized as well.
Right.
Like it's just not fair.
Right.
You know, and so I mean, what else can you say? He's a bad he's a bad dude. Whether he won a championship or not won a championship or whatever, like he's one of the greatest players to play this game. And so
What did you guys need when he goes to the when he goes to the Warriors? What did Cleveland need to combat that? Because I don't believe without KD. I believe without KD, they're not going to beat you again.
yeah.
After you beat them at 2016, coming back from 3-1, I don't believe they can
No,
beat you again.
I think we had the blueprint on how to beat them. Like Steve Kerr's a mastermind, so he probably figured something
Right.
out. But I thought we had the blueprint. But for us, probably I would say like a dominant center. like a guy you can throw the ball to.
Dump it down to him and punish him inside.
Yeah, so Draymond's not helping all over the place. And like, because Tristan was a really good player, but like offensively being able to throw the ball, post the basketball, and make plays, because K-Love played more of the four. So,
right.
But I think a bigger center that can protect the rim, can be dominant on the block, I think that would have helped us out a lot. But it was just, when they got KD, like you blitz.
It wasn't even fair. It wasn't even fair.
Steph, Draymond's the best pocket, catch the ball in the pocket, and now you got Clay and Steph. I mean, Clay and KD sitting in the court. Like, Iguodala for the lob, Clay in his corner, KD in his corner. Like, what you gonna do?
And you still worried about Steph.
Yeah, like it was unfair.
That last year, you guys had D Rose, you guys had D Wade, and it wasn't working.
Yeah,
it wasn't working. Why wasn't it working?
I think D Wade and, let's say, D Rose was coming down towards the end of their career, but D Rose ended up playing a lot longer than he thought he was going to play.
Right.
But you have, like I said, great players. D Rose, one of my favorite players, like to play the game, and then D Wade, as well. And then what they've been able to do with other teams, and then coming to Cleveland with Bron, I think like Bron gave them the leeway to do whatever they want.
Right.
But I just think just trying to figure it out, playing with each other, the spacing, the shooting, all those components played a factor. And it just wasn't a good fit. Like, it wasn't. They could still play. It just wasn't a good fit, basketball wise. And that's just kind of like how it didn't work. And but if I had a little bit more time, I would have been able to figure it out.
Right.
But it just didn't fit the style that we wanted to play or had to play or need to play. It just didn't fit.
Adam Silver says he's changing the All-Star game. It's become unwatchable, T. Lue. It ain't number threes. It ain't number threes and dunks. And that ain't the way. Man, nobody. Bro, I grew up on the All-Star game. They played. I ain't saying you got to play it like it's a game 7. I ain't saying you got to play it like a playoff game. But this is unacceptable.
Yeah.
So they've changed the format.
What's the format now?
It's the U.S. versus the world, isn't it? Yeah. So Jokic, Luka, Giannis, Embiid, Shea, gonna be Steph, KD, LeBron, Book. Yeah.
And if they win, then what?
Nah, we want to see some action. We want to see man, we almost had a 200. Somebody almost scored 200 points in the All-Star game.
No, I'm saying, but it's like in baseball, if you win, like,
Well, that's what he should have did. We should have go back to the East West, and the winning side get home court advantage. No matter what the record is, whoever wins the All-Star game gets the home court advantage.
Right.
Then you'll start playing.
Yeah.
Because come on, Lou. Them jokers shooting 73s.
I mean, I don't know, man. I don't. However Adam Silver's going to fix it, it's going to be great, because, like I said, he makes sure he does it. He does a great job. So I believe in him.
It's been a while since we had an American-born MVP, T. Lou. It's been a minute. Mm-hmm. I mean, Jokic got 3, Giannis has got 2, Embiid's got 1. Now we got Shea. Maybe not as a whole, but is the world catching up with us as far as basketball? Like, not overall, because each player is from a different country.
Yeah.
But they are getting better.
Yeah, they're getting better. I mean,
it ain't a foregone conclusion 28. Now, you do realize that, right? Because think about what it took. T. Lue, it took Herculean effort, T. Lue.
No.
T. Lue. I mean, it took
basketball still comes through here.
T. Lue, it took LeBron, it took KD, and it took Steph.
Okay. That's why we're the best.
They're not going to be there at 28.
How many MVPs Bron got?
4.
How many KD got?
1.
Steph.
2.
Okay, there you go.
You try to have them around for 28?
No, I'm just saying, like, that's why we're the best players in the world. I mean, they have, like, Joker, like, they have great players too. But what I'm saying is they're not going to be able to catch us, because it's 1 or 2 guys in each country.
Right.
Like, we're one place.
Right.
And we have all the talent, we have all the skill, we have all the athleticism. But like I said, they are really good. They're great.
Because they're playing, because the thing is, T. Lue, is that the Germans, they've been playing together their whole life.
Right.
The Slovenians, the Serbians, the Lithuanians, Australians. They've been playing together.
10 years old.
Yes.
Yeah.
We come together for 2 weeks, come to
Right.
Vegas for 2 weeks practice. Then we go to somebody to play like 3 exhibitions, and then they go play.
Right. Now, I do think Wemby,
Oh yeah.
Wemby, I think, but I don't know, man. We're the greatest.
We got this at 28.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna check out a game now.
If you can rewind this tape in 3 years and say, you know what, listen. But we're gonna win.
You were on the staff at the Clippers when Shay was there.
No.
You were there.
No, I was in when Shay got there, I was
You were still in Cleveland.
Yeah, I was in Cleveland. Yeah.
Doc said he pleaded with them, said, look, this guy gonna be special. Don't trade him. But to appease Kawhi, you had to, because Kawhi's like, I ain't got time. I need somebody that's proven.
Mm-hmm.
PG was proven. He's been an all-NBA player, can play both ends of the court. But watching him, watching Shay, did you know Shay was gonna be this?
No, I didn't, and we talk about it all the time. And 30 GMs or presidents or whatever, even like if it would have been done all over again, I'd have done the trade too.
Yes.
Like PG was second in MVP voting.
Yes.
Like two-way player. Like it was like Jordan and Pippen. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Shay, like I said, he was a really good, young player, but you didn't know he was going to be this.
Right.
And I think it was the best thing for Shay because Shay would stay with the Clippers. He wouldn't be. He wouldn't be.
He ain't gonna have the ball in his hand like
exactly. And so he was able to grow and figure it out, have his own team.
Yes.
And anything hindsight 2020, you can say, oh, I would have never done that. But
Right.
who wouldn't have traded, a first year player for a guy like PG, to team up with Kawhi?
Right.
Like anybody would have done that. They lied, they said they wouldn't have.
Right.
And so now Shay was Shay now, and it'd be like, no, it's
Right.
it's not a question, but yeah, that was a no brainer to me.
Did you guys try to trade for Paul George when you was in Cleveland?
Yeah. When he was in Indiana.
And why didn't it happen?
I don't remember.
Damn.
Yeah. We tried to get him.
PG, LeBron, and Kyrie?
Ooh.
That might have been enough. That might have been enough to come back.
Yeah.
Because now you can throw LeBron. Obviously you let PG start with him, and then you can have LeBron, but you still got guys. Now you got 3 guys that can really score the basketball.
Yeah.
LeBron, Kyrie, and PG.
And K-Love can score.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So man.
We tried.
Damn. Ooh. You got to answer me this. This is what I want to know. The bubble. Because this is what I got. Man, the Clippers didn't even want to be there. Okay, they wanted to be there when they got the 3-1 lead. Then once they lost the 3-1 lead, they didn't want to be there. I'm like, what kind of bullshit is that? Am I wrong? So explain to the people that was in the bubble, because I see a lot of people that didn't win try to undermine it. I think who was that said something the other day about it?
I think it was the GM, right?
GM. Was it David Griffin? No, the one at Philly.
Morey.
Yeah, Daryl Morey.
Mm-hmm.
Daryl Morey. Now he almost blew the whole thing up talking about what he was talking about, and now he want to talk about the championship don't mean nothing. Now had he won it, I guarantee you he wouldn't been talking about that.
I'll take it. Give it to me. I'll take it.
So, how, with the team that you guys had, did you lose a 3-1 lead? And you guys had double-digit leads in every game.
Yeah. Man, Jamal Murray and Joker, like, they took it to another level.
Yeah.
They took it to another level. And they played great. I mean, like I said, if you build a 15, 16-point lead, like you was doing something right.
Right.
And so they played better than we did,
right.
Coming down the stretch. And so if you get hot at the right time, like you said, it's tough. And so being up 3-1 and having an opportunity to close them out, and we would have done that. I think we could have won. We could have won the bubble. We could have won it.
Yeah.
I'd have took it.
You took the championship?
Doc would have took it. What you mean? Yeah, we took it.
But after that, Doc, ends up getting fired, he and PG have a back and forth. PG said, well, I'm not playing the kind of basketball that I want to play. Running, maybe he said, I think he wanted to run pin downs and Doc had him running flares or whatever the case may be. Whatever the case may be. I've really never heard you say anything about, obviously players move on and you understand that, having played in this game, having coached in this game, that players are going to move on. And sometimes we might not ever get out, but we don't see eye to eye. Me and the player don't see eye to eye. Is there ever a scenario where you feel player said something that you would counter that, or you just let it walk?
I let it walk. I mean, that's just something that's
egregious.
Or testing my man, like, you want to scrap? I ain't running from that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, I ain't running from that. But like, players gonna be upset. They're gonna say what they're gonna say. But I think if you're the leader and you're a coach, like, you gotta take the higher road.
Right.
I do believe in that. And so, to me, like, I'm always gonna take the blame, whether I'm wrong or not.
Right.
And so, if you're the leader at any corporation or any profession, like, if you the leader of the team, like, you should take the responsibility and you should take the blame,
right? Even
though 100% it wasn't,
right?
But my job is to take that pressure off you guys, so you're not getting crucified, and so that's just how I feel it should be, And so I wouldn't go back and forth with a player, I wouldn't do that.
The Lakers had a vacancy. You was in the running. I think LeBron called you a couple of times, wanting you to take the job. Why didn't you take the job? I mean, you played for the Lakers. I mean, I think it's always a good story when a guy can go back and coach the team that he played for.
I would have loved it. I mean, it'd been a dream come true. Yeah.
Why didn't you take the job?
One, they offered me short years. They offered me 3 years, and I wanted to do 5.
Right.
I guess because they were trying to tie me to LeBron. 2, the money was low, and
don't they know the cost of living in L.A.?
Well, I'm saying it wasn't low for me personally. The money, it was low for the head coach and for what it meant to everybody else going forward.
Right.
It's kind of like the Players Association. If you take a bad deal, they're gonna give us all bad deals.
Right.
And so I just felt, for me, being a championship coach and being black,
right.
I thought it was up to me to make sure I set the standard.
Got to take a stand.
Yeah, if I take a bad deal, then what's everybody else going to get? So
a worse deal.
Yeah, a worse deal. So I just thought it was up to me, to make sure I did that.
Right.
And then, it's hard because loyalty is tough. But then I couldn't pick my coaching staff. Well, they wouldn't let me pick my coaching staff, so they was going to pick my coaching staff for me, and so I had to leave a lot of guys behind.
Whoa. What you mean? Pick your coaching staff?
They wanted to pick my staff for me.
So in other words, instead of saying I want to hire, John Drew or this guy, that guy, they're like, no, you got him, and him.
Yeah.
But you don't know them like that.
I knew some of the guys. I mean, it wasn't a thing where I didn't like the guys they wanted me to hire. My thing was just leaving guys behind.
Right.
Like, so if I'm fired and my guys are out of work, then I get a job and just say, oh, forget them and just leave them behind. Like, we won a championship together.
Right.
Like, went to 4 straight finals together.
Yes.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And so what we've done, we showed it worked, and so I just felt that wasn't something that I wanted to do. And so those 3 things kind of, nipped it in the bud, and, we went, I mean, it wasn't no bad blood. Like, it was what it was.
It wasn't.
And then, Monty Williams.
Yeah.
Saved the world, getting that big deal.
Yeah.
And then, because we had coaches meetings in Chicago just talking about, it's going to be hard to fire coaches if we make more money.
Right.
And so they don't really respect us as leader, as the organization. Like, we're running $1 billion organization. They don't really respect us. Like, we getting $3-4 million. I mean, that's a lot of money. But I'm just saying, in the coaching world, they can just let you go. They paying, some teams paying 3, 4, 5 coaches. You know what I'm saying? But like, Monty Williams. So I told Steve Kerr, I told
Phoenix,
I told Doc, I told Spo, like, because this was like 4 years. Like, y'all the face of the league as far as coaches. Like, y'all got to get the money up.
Right,
like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they's like, well, whatever. And so 2 years later, Monty goes and gets
the
big
bag
deal
for
in
Detroit.
Yeah, and then he gets the bag. then Spo, then Steve Kerr, then Pop, and then me. You know what I'm saying? And then now everything's gone up, you know, and so and I think it's fair. I think, you know, when you have a coach and there's 15 players and you like the 14th highest paid player. I mean, out of the players and the coaches, like that ain't fair.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and so I thought he did a really good job of just, you know, showing appreciation for coaches and you know, because it's a hard job.
I've always wanted to ask you this: why do you like? I look at you. You give John Wall an opportunity. You give Russ an opportunity. You give Ben Simmons an opportunity. What is it about that? Why do you do that? Give guys an opportunity because, you know, Ben, for whatever reason, seemed like he lost his confidence, and we'll touch on this a little later. John Wall had a situation. He went through some stuff with his mom and had some tough injuries. Yeah. Russ, why do you do that, T. Lue?
Because I played and I understand. And so, you know, a lot of times you just need, you know, a coach that can give you confidence and get you back to, you know, where you want to get to, you know. And so I've been a player when, you know, the time's almost up, you know, like the clock is running out. Right. And, you know, you never want to see guys go out like that. And having relationships with those guys and giving them opportunity. I will always do that. And so, you know, a lot of guys have career years playing under me because, like I said, I give them confidence. Or guys that didn't want to play the game no more, like Reggie Jackson and Nick Batum, and then they're playing 6, 7, 8 more years. You know, when they was ready to retire. You know, and so it's important to be able to give back, you know, to our guys and in any way I can. And so I really enjoy that.
What happened with Ben Simmons? You talk about a guy that was Rookie of the Year. He was an All-NBA player. He was a perennial All-Star, and then all of a sudden, it just didn't click. Something happened. I trace it back to that Atlanta game where he had a layup. I mean, it looked like a dunk, and he passed it, and his coach was critical. The best player was critical. And I remember I was undisputed with Skip. I said, it's over. I said, he's never going to be the same. And he said, why do you say that? I said, because the head coach said what he said, and his best player said what he said. I said, he broke his confidence. I said, and that city? And then, you know, you see the meme where this is Ben Simmons and there's a trash can going down the street because the city is flooding. It broke his confidence. And he hasn't been the same player since. Now, I know he's had some injuries, but how do you, when a guy, he's the first overall pick, he's Rookie of the Year, he's perennial All-Star, how does confidence is that big of a thing in basketball, T. Lue?
Confidence is everything in life. Whatever you do, you know, and I come from one of the most confident places in the world, Mexico, Missouri. Listen, I'm telling you, you would think everybody down there is Michael Jordan. I'm saying everybody, you know, it doesn't matter. Like, you know, from all my guy Damon to J-Ro to Conrad to Stacy to Fitz, like everybody think they're it, you know. And so having that confidence plays a big factor in everything you do. For me, I think I equated to just that. You know, that play, whatever, I don't think that changed. I think the injuries really set him back. You know, having 2 back surgeries, you know, then we acquired him this year, seeing what his knee, you know, seeing like how his knee was, and, you know, all the things he had to fight through to be able to get on the floor, I think played a big role. I think you saw in Brooklyn last year, like he was good. Like he was back to being, you know, who he is. And the thing that didn't work with us, you know, last year, which I'm pissed off at myself about, is that he needs a ball in his hands, and so does James, and then so does Kawhi. You know what I'm saying?
So it's hard.
It was hard, you know, and it was hard.
Because he can't play off the ball.
Exactly, yeah. And you shouldn't want him to.
No.
Because the way he plays, the way he passes, his pace, the way he plays the game, and how he can make people better, you don't want him off the ball. You know, and so it was just a tough dynamic, and I take full responsibility. Like, I didn't figure it out the way I needed to. So he really didn't have a fair shake. So I'm still pissed about that.
What's it like, Russ? No matter what you think about him, he has the most career triple-doubles. He's average triple-double, I think, 3 seasons. He ain't going to cheat you. You know exactly what you're going to get with Russell Westbrook. You're going to get an outstanding play. You're going to get a turnover. You're going to get an air ball. You're going to get a big 3. But he going to give you everything he has. And you can appreciate that.
Every single night, every single practice, every single day. And the thing that, which, you know, I equate him with LeBron, like when you have great players like that, always on time, early to the bus, early to the meetings, never late. Like, that means a lot.
Yes.
That should show you respect for your teammates, for the staff, and for, who you're working with. And every day he's going to bring it, no matter what. Practice, like I said, games, shoot around.
Yep.
You know what you're going to get every single day, and you can respect that.
Right.
And so that's why so many people love Russ, because every single day you're going to get this, and you can't ask for anything more.
What's it like being a coach for Steve Ballmer? You see him, I've never seen an owner that has more emotion watching the game. I mean, he is a true fan because he goes through the gamut of emotions just like, I'm like, bro, you do realize you got like 100 billion and you supposed to be just sitting there just like stoic.
Right.
And he...
Yeah.
He hit it. Hey, every shot, turnover. I mean, you could tell.
Yeah.
I'm like, man.
He's fully invested. And
1,000.
People just see the games and like how the game and his actions and reactions, whatever. But what I've learned from him is, Shannon, is that no matter how much money you have or how rich you are, you could be a good person.
Yes.
And that's what he is. Like, to treat people the way he treats them, is like if you got a guy who's worth 150 billion and to treat everybody like, everything's so personable.
Right.
Everything is like genuine. He's not faking. He doesn't have to.
Right.
Like, he doesn't need anybody.
Right.
Like, but just see how he treats people. Like, it just goes to show, like, and that's why I try to be good to everybody. I keep saying that you come across because, you never know. And I just seeing how Steve Ballmer did for me in Mexico, what he's done for this organization, what he's done for the city of LA, what he's done for the city of Seattle. Like, he's just a genuine person. That's a great person. And, you don't see too many better human beings than he is.
Hold on. He went back to Mexico, Missouri with you on a private jet and stayed at the Best Western?
Best Western. And said it was some of the best sleep he's had in a long time. So I said, you know what? If he can come and stay, anybody, I don't want to hear nothing from nobody. Anybody can come and stay in Mexico if Mr. Ballmer can come and stay in Mexico. Only 5 other people can say they can't. Outside of that, everybody else should come.
Yeah. Who's your favorite player to watch in the NBA?
Right now, today?
Yeah.
I have a few. I love Ant-Man. I love Tatum. Just from guys that are not on my team, like I said. Love Steph, still what he brings. Who am I missing that I love? Oh, Kyrie, yeah. Kyrie.
Yeah, Kyrie be dancing.
Kyrie. It's just so many great players. It's just hard to remember, but Kyrie, love to see him dance. Yeah, I love Ant-Man, the stuff talking.
Yeah.
And I love watching Tatum play.
But Tatum is a cousin of yours, correct? And y'all play real cousin or play cousin?
Real cousin.
Okay, because sometimes how we are.
Too grown to play.
Yeah, man. But how we are. We'll call somebody and we be closer kin to a German Shepherd than the actual person.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
What? You got to help me understand. Where all this hate for JT come from?
What hate?
Man, they be killing JT. Man, he ain't do this. And I want to ask you, because you were there. How that man a 3-time All-NBA selection and can't get but 2 minutes a game in the Olympics?
2 minutes a game?
Yeah, okay, my bad, 5.
No, he played more than that.
T. Lue, you got to figure it out. You told me we've been sitting here for over an hour and a half, and you say you could figure out how to get guys minutes, how to get guys shot. You mean to tell me you couldn't figure out how to get that man more play, getting that man on the court more than that?
Yeah, I take responsibility because I'm part of the coaching staff.
Right.
So whatever we decide to make as a staff, I'm never gonna go against that. I'm not gonna go whisper and say, "Oh, we should once the decision's made, that's
everybody got to buy into it.
That's what it is. And as much as it hurt me, I thought
now he's like, damn, cuz.
Yeah, no. Like I'm saying, what I'm saying. I wanted to play. I thought he should be out there.
Right.
But once you make a decision, I'm not gonna go. But man, this is the no. That's the decision that was
we made as coaching staff.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna never throw a coach on the bus or a player or nobody else. You know what I'm saying? So of course it's my cousin. So of course you
want to see him do well,
out there.
right?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Upbringing, Mexico, Missouri. What was it like? What kind of town is Mexico, Missouri? What do y'all grow? Is it livestock? Y'all have you have corn,
Bricks.
brick.
We was known for bricks.
Okay.
AP Greens and Nationals. We were known for having the number one. Was it Fire Brick? Yeah, Fire Brick. I think in the United States, and so that's where like all the money was generated from.
Right.
And then when they closed those plants down, that's when Mexico kind of went down.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, it was like a small city,
Right.
Because it's a town of 11,000 people. Well, back then it was 13,500, but now it's like 11,000.
Okay.
But it was a small city because you had people that did everything. So if you want to gamble, all the guys taught you how to lock the dice or
Right.
3-car mile.
Right.
Taught you how to, whatever.
Right.
If you wanted to, you don't get drugs.
Right.
You had people who were, went to college and had, got degrees. So you had everything you needed around, and it's a small community. So you're getting that every single day, and so
Right.
you learn about it, every single day, what you're supposed to do, what you're not supposed to do, what to get into, what
Right.
not to get into. And what it teaches you is like, when I got to the league, and you get around all these guys that grew up in the city, and you look and they don't understand and see what's going on, when like guys are cheating or when guys are locking the dice or they don't know what's going on, and you're looking like, damn, they're from the city, but they don't see what's going on.
Right.
It kind of, so like me, I'm like, in Mexico, you learn everything at an early age.
Right.
10, 11, 12, about gambling, about, if you're going to be in, the drugs scene, if you're going to go out and party, if you're going to be, whatever you're going to be, you can learn about it right now. And so I thought it really did a good job of just teaching me everything at a young age. So when I got older, I wasn't numb to none of the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen it from every angle. And so that really helped me to grow. And like I said, just having the confidence that they have back home,
Right.
like from a, crackhead to a whatever, confidence.
Right.
They walk around, just as confident as anybody else. And that's what I love about being in Mexico, because everybody's together and everybody's one. It don't matter, what you've done. If you dropped out of high school, if you dropped out of junior high, whatever, like we all people, we all together. And that's why, I love it so much.
You don't drink or smoke.
Never tried it.
Because your father had a substance. Is that why? It's a substance abuse problem. Is that why?
Yeah, I could say that, my dad, like I said, he smoked crack, growing up. And I give him credit. Once he went to prison and got out, he's been clean for 23 years. Wow. Yeah, never had a drink, never had any drug, and we formed a really great relationship. And
That's
so
awesome.
shout out to Ronald Kim for getting himself together.
Yeah.
But, that takes a lot.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
being on drugs the way he was and to be clean and for us to have a
every day,
relationship.
Lou.
Yeah.
You know what? As an addict, a recovering addict, is every day.
Every day.
You got to drive by the liquor store. You got to drive by the package shop. You got to somebody smoking.
Right.
You got to do this every single day for the rest of your life.
And I'm a sugar addict, and I understand. When Shirley Temples come out on the table, you try, what I'm saying? I see it. And like I said, my grandpa, he drank a lot. And so I love my grandpa, Tyronn.
Right.
So just seeing those things and how it, when my grandpa drank, when
Right.
he come home at night, how he would act,
Right.
and how my dad was, and just, seeing those dynamics, made me want to stay away.
Right.
And then also, like, it was like a badge of honor, like all my friends or, they're drinking it. I don't want to do that. Like, I
Right.
want to be different,
Right.
and so, shit, it's 48 years now,
Right.
so I don't need to doing it now.
Hey, you too late.
Yeah.
You said you lived with your uncle, and you spoke about your uncle a little briefly earlier, too.
Two different, my Uncle Jay, so I idolized basketball.
Okay.
wise. And then
That's
I
not
went-
the one you live with.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. And I went and lived with my Uncle Kevin.
Okay. Is that your mom's brother or your dad's brother?
My mom's brother.
Okay.
Yeah. And so my sophomore year in high school, I got in some trouble back home in Mexico. And
Right.
the family came to an agreement that, I needed to get out of there, like, and have a father figure, be in a bigger city and
Right.
have a chance to, because like teams wasn't coming, college coaches wasn't coming to Mexico
Right.
to recruit, and so to try to display my, I took my talents to South Beach, you know what I'm saying? And went to Kansas City. And my uncle, like I say, he took me in, and as a sophomore, that's tough. He took
Right,
me
yes.
in and, I hit the ground running. It was hard because in Mexico, you used to being out on the streets till
Right.
1, 2 in the morning.
Right.
You being policed and by all the different, my mom's, friend or,
It was a
so-
community that raised you.
Yeah. So
Ain't you such and such boy?
Right, yeah.
You know better.
Right. And so you get to Kansas City, it's a big city.
Yeah.
And so it was, the dynamics were different, having to be, in at a certain time and being more safe. And,
Right.
it was an adjustment for me, but I needed it.
Right.
And so Kevin took me in and did my 3 years there, and then I was able to go to Nebraska from there, and then kind of so it got my life on track because I was going the wrong direction. So it was very much needed.
You had some health issues. There was some chest pains this past season. Damn, coaching stressful, huh?
This season?
Yeah. Was it last season? A couple years. When was
It was in Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Yeah, in Cleveland. Well, this year I messed my back up. Yeah, my shoulder and my back.
What'd you do?
I'm trying to get big like you, man. You know what I'm saying? Trying to throw that weight around and all that. Just, you know what I'm saying? I know better, man. Them days are over, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And so I had, I messed my back up. That
Was sciatica?
No, it was like
disc? Oh, you up high?
Yeah. And so, but Cleveland is when I had the chest pains
Right.
and didn't understand what was going on. Like, I felt like a heart attack,
Right.
or whatever heart attack you think would feel like.
Right.
And I was scared to sleep at night because like these sharp pains were like just like shoot through my chest. And
Right.
I'm like, I was scared to go to sleep because I didn't know what was going on. So I wasn't sleeping. And we did all the testing. So I went to Cleveland Clinic.
Yeah.
And I did all like the EKGs, the echo testing, the treadmill, all that stuff. And so the doctor said, listen, you might die, but it won't be from your heart. Your heart is perfectly fine. So I'm like, damn, like what's... So I was like, okay, I feel better about that, whatever. So we still kept trying to find what was going on and got with a doctor and he said, oh man, you're experiencing anxiety and depression, And so I was like, well, depression? I'm from Mexico. I ain't depressed. Like, I'm like, yeah, I ain't depressed.
Right.
Like, whatever. He's like, no, like that's what you're experiencing. And so he was like, I want you to do this. So they had some medication for me to take for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And I took some time off, which I give Cleveland.
Give you an opportunity to do that.
Yeah. They were really like serious about it. And I give Kobe Altman a lot of credit for just saying, listen, take the time you need. Don't. And then so took a couple of weeks off, changed my diet, took some medication, started doing yoga and all that stuff. And it helped. And then I got the medication like right after the playoffs. And so the doctor said my happy place is gambling, like being in Vegas, being in Vegas and the playoffs.
Really?
That was my happy place. And so he's like, anytime you get a chance. So like, what was crazy is like our general manager, like David Griffin, he'd come to the house 2 times a week.
Right.
We have a poker game. So like they did everything they could to, keep me engaged. But once I found that out, but like it hasn't been a problem ever since. But like that was some stressful times.
How many hours a night were you sleeping?
Probably 3 tops.
Damn. Hell, I might be stressed and anxiety too.
3 tops.
But I mean, since I retired, I used to sleep fairly good when I was a player. But once I got to a certain age, I don't.
Yeah, because when you get older, you don't sleep. Grandma don't sleep. But when you have chest pains,
I wonder why. Because them old people be up.
Yeah.
They go to bed at 7 o'clock, but they up at 3.
Yeah. So, but when you go to bed and you're having chest pains, and then sometimes you're spitting up blood, like, and you don't know what's going on.
Right.
So like, because like coaching is tough. Like when you want to be the best, when you want to win, and get the best player in the world.
You wouldn't eat too many oxtails and hog maw and stuff like that. Were you?
No. Probably a lot of sugar.
Oh, you got a sweet tooth.
Sweets, yeah.
Because we see Coach Popovich had to retire. Obviously, coaching is very stressful.
Yes.
Because you coach a team and the expectations are very, very high. Mm-hmm. You understand that. You understand when you get into this profession, what is expected of you.
Right.
So it ain't no pretense, well, I want this team. It ain't that no more.
Right.
Hey, it's now, and the players that you have, you got a guy that was a top 75 player. As a matter of fact, you got 2 of them on your team. So the expectations are is to win.
Yes.
You feel that.
I like that. Yeah, I like that because if you're in position to win a championship, that's all you can
ask for.
Yeah, that's all you can ask for. And so if it was a situation where you're not playing for a championship, you're not competing for a championship.
What we doing this for?
Yeah.
What we doing this for?
I like those expectations.
Give me your all-time starting 5 teammates, your former teammates, guys that you played with.
As far as talent or who I love?
Give me your starting 5. Who you gonna start with? You got 5. You got a starting 5.
But I'm saying who I like the most or who the best players.
You had to put together a starting 5 of your 5 teammates. Who would it be and why?
Shaq.
Shaq is one.
Kobe. Jordan. T-Mac.
T-Mac.
Oh, damn, Yao Ming.
Yeah, we got Yao,
Dirk,
Dirk.
Kidd. Hey, I'm sorry if I leave anybody. Yeah. So, I mean, you're going by position, right? So, Shaq, Dirk, Kobe, Jordan.
You can put T-Mac in there. You can put J. Kidd in there.
Yeah, go big.
Yeah.
Yeah, T-Mac, Kobe, Jordan, Dirk, Shaq. Damn.
That's a nice little squad there now. Y'all might win some championships. Right. Has ring culture become a problem? We kind of touched on this a little bit earlier because now if you ain't got a ring, you.
I think it has. I think it's become a problem because now you have guys thinking that winning is more important than loyalty and doing it the right way, and it's not their fault. But it's like you said, it's what is projecting to the world now.
Right.
I think it's hard to see franchises draft great players, young players, and you're willing to grow with, but they leave to try to pursue a championship because they think that's what's going to get them, to this point, to the pinnacle. And so, I just think, it's definitely, clouded our game, just as far as saying, oh, you got to win championship. Like, you just got to be a great player and a great person. Like, everything's going to take care of itself, and so. I know Steve.
It ain't no guarantee. Even if you go someplace, you're gonna win a championship.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think winning is important. Like you play to win. Like,
correct.
That's the number one goal. Like that's the ultimate goal. But I think there's the right ways to do it though. Like you can't sell yourself, because you want to win a championship.
Right.
Like I just, it's just so to me, being the best player you can be, doing it the right way, grinding to get to that point. I think it's important, and it's more fulfilling when you do it that way.
Is the era of the super teams over?
Yes, I think so because of the way the cap is structured now. The first 8
they're gonna punish you.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard.
If you want to spend $1 billion a year to try to win a championship, the NBA say be my guest.
And then also, like if you're gonna do it, it's gonna be with older talent, like guys is 35, 36 that's gonna take less money to try to win, but. I think the super teams, and especially the way the game is played now, with all the cutting, slashing, picking up full court, like stars ain't doing. Like so, you need 3 or 4 guys around to do the dirty work. So it's gonna be a little different. So it might be one here or there, but for the most part, I think that's over.
Expectations for the Clippers this season?
To win at a high level. To me, I want to get to the conference finals or better. And we have a talented team to do it. Like our biggest thing is over the years has been health, which has held us back. And still think about and dream about my first year. Like if Kawhi don't get hurt that year, like
the Utah series.
Yeah, he gets hurt. We beat the number 1 seed Utah, and then we play in the conference finals against Phoenix. Go to Game 6. PG had a hell of a series and. Came up short, and so every year has been something. Kawhi's missed every playoff series. PG's been out for playoff series, and so it's just been tough. So for me, I think with our coaching staff, the team that we've assembled with, Jeff Van Gundy, like I said, Brian Shaw's done a great job, Jay Larranaga, Larry Drew, Jeremy Castleberry, Dante. So we got a great group of guys that have played the game and some are that understands the game and been head coaches before. And so I think with that dynamic with our players, I think we got a chance to be pretty good. So I'm excited about it.
Clippers head coach Tyronn Lue, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why. All my life, I've been grinding all my life. Look, all my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why. All my life, I've been grinding all my life.